of great power.
You talk funny, Nash. Where are you from?
Lots of different places. A warrior of incredible strength.
You've the devil in you.
We've been kinsmen 20 years.
Connor MacLeod was my kinsman. I don't know who you are.
Because you were born different, men will fear you, try to drive you away.
A man uncertain of his future.
What you got here, Brenda, is a guy who's been creeping around since at least 1700.
It's not possible.
And haunted by his past.
Wait a minute, Nash. I want some answers.
You cannot die, MacLeod.
I am Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel. Now I am immortal.
A hero who is about to face his greatest challenge.
You will always be weaker than I.
What can you tell me about a 7-foot lunatic hacking away with a broadsword at 1 o'clock in the morning, New York City, 1985?
Not much.
For he is not alone.
In the end, there can be only one.
Highlander, there can be only one.
Oh, what an absolute classic of a movie. Welcome, chat. Welcome, panel. Welcome to Monday Night Mayhem, where we're talking tonight about Highlander, which some of you will know is a 1986 fantasy action-adventure film directed by Russell Mulcahy. The screenplay was by Gregory Wyden, Peter Bellwood and Larry Ferguson, and it stars Christopher Lambert, Roxanne Hart, Clancy Brown, and of course Sean Connery. The film chronicles the end of an age-old war between immortal warriors depicted through flashbacks and present-day storylines. It's the first film in the Highlander franchise. Now, Conor MacLeod's born in the Scottish Highlands in the 16th century after being mortally wounded by the murderous Kurgan, played by Clancy Brown, who does the voice of Mr. Krabs. "You're I'm gonna kill you, Conor MacLeod." After being mortally wounded, he makes a miraculous recovery, but he's accused of witchcraft. So he's driven out of his village. 5 years later, he's found by swordsman Ramirez, played by Sean Connery, which is a bit ironic, really. You've got a Scotsman playing an Egyptian Spaniard, and you've got a Frenchman playing a Scotsman. So basically, Ramirez trains him in swordplay and explains that they and others were born immortal, invincible unless beheaded. Immortals wage a secret war, fighting each other until the last few remaining will meet at the gathering to fight for the prize. In 1985, the gathering is finally happening in New York City, and MacLeod must ensure that the prize isn't won by the Kurgan. Highlander was a commercial failure, sadly, on its initial theatrical release, grossing only $12.8 million worldwide against a production budget of $19 million. While receiving mixed reviews, nevertheless, it became a cult classic and inspired several film sequels and several TV spin-offs. Queen recorded several songs for the soundtrack with Princes of the Universe, amongst others, and also used the title sequence in the television series. The tagline, of course, "There can be only one," has carried on into pop culture, and that's why we're talking about it tonight. With me on the panel is the oldest gamer. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good evening, Trev.
Don't lose your head.
I'll try not to.
And also with us is the Immortal Help Desk.
Okai Lanu. I am help desk of the clan help desk. My accent is terrible.
You've just offended Melvin and every other Scotsman. Speaking of which, welcome, Melvin Deeply. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Greetings, everyone. How are we doing?
Pretty good, really. I want to say a quick hello to everybody in the chat. Who've we got in there? Oh, Sword in the Storm, Gavin Blackburn, Timey Wimey Limey, Atom Gray, amongst others. Franco Walker's with us too. Manum. I always like pronouncing his name. I probably get it wrong, but hey-ho, here we are. Also, hello to the Hooded Man. Thank you for joining us, sir. And anybody else in there? Oh, MC's in there. Scrolling through.
The Wayfarer Project.
Yeah, Wayfarer Project's in there too. So it's nice to see you guys in the chat. We'll catch up with you shortly, but we'll start with the oldest gamer. When did you first see Highlander?
I actually saw this film in 1986 when it came out, so I was one of those few people with the box office numbers that went to go see it. When I saw it in 1986, having rewatched it again, I don't know, for maybe the 10th time this weekend. At the time, the movie was just epic. Christopher Lambert, totally rocks the role as the Highlander, and everyone in this cast, I think, is spot on. But you showed the trailer there. Now, was that the actual trailer, or was that a compilation?
That was the actual trailer.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking back. It's like, was this the trailer that got me to go to the theater? And I want to say it was. And so I was, in college and, wanted to go see a film, and this came out. I'm like, especially with the action stars of the 80s, I'm like, well, this is something a little different. I think I want to go see a sword fight.
Well, you don't see, or you didn't see that kind of thing, apart from Conan. This was totally different. This was like modern day intermixed with memory flashbacks to like the 17th century and stuff. Yeah. And it's really good how they did it, really, really good. Help Desk, when was the first time you watched this cult classic?
Well, this is an interesting one. I haven't actually seen it.
What?
The first one I saw was one of the sequels. During the 80s, I was a kid in the 80s. 86, I was only 5 years old. So I never actually saw it when it came out, and it was one of those ones that didn't really hit my radar. Then the sequel came out, and I went and saw it. I can't remember which one it was, and I thought it was pretty bad.
Was it one with Virginia Madsen in it?
Potentially. I have tried to block it from my memory, and I've never rewatched it since, just because I really didn't think it was any good.
Well, to be fair, Highlander 2 is the worst film in the franchise. Even, the hardened fans don't particularly like Highlander 2. I gave it a rewatch the other night, and apart from Virginia Madsen, it was crap. It really was bad. Pardon, Gamer?
What about Michael Ironsides?
Yes. Yeah, he plays General Katana. Yeah. He's campy as hell in this. And you could tell he's like thinking, this is an easy paycheck, and I get to act like a ding-dong. And he just sort of went with the flow. It was filmed in Argentina, and the thing is, Russell Mulcahy got more or less fired from the end of the movie. And these bunch of people took over and started editing it and faffing around with it. There is actually a renegade cut of Highlander 2, and it fixes all the problems. It takes out all this planet Zeist and how they're actually aliens and whatnot.
It was still shit. It was still shit.
Well, yeah, there is that. Yeah,
they weren't aliens anymore, but it was still a terrible movie.
When did you first see Highlander, Melv?
The original, I've probably seen it about 87, I suppose, on VHS. I didn't see it at the pictures, and fantastic film, great fun. But man, there's so much stuff wrong with this film. You just got to understand that you're watching a music video.
Hey, and to say it had a Queen soundtrack, you would have thought it would have done a lot better at the time, but it didn't.
Yeah, well, they had a different version of A Kind of Magic in it. The film itself didn't have a soundtrack released, an official soundtrack. So the Queen album, A Kind of Magic, was kind of an unofficial soundtrack.
Yeah, I love that soundtrack. Yeah. I just like Queen in general, to be fair.
Yeah.
They had a song from at least one other album on there, and the famous version of A Kind of Magic wasn't in the film.
And from the same album as well, there was a track used in Iron Eagle, One Vision.
One Vision wasn't on. What One Vision wasn't on that one, was it?
Yeah. That's on kind of. I'm sure that's on a kind of magic because I've got it.
I'll have to check. I used to listen to the tape all the time. A kind of magic. I know that Hammer to Fall was on a different album. That was on the works.
Yeah, that's definitely on a different album. But shall we start with some slides, gentlemen?
Yes.
Go on then.
I'm looking forward to learning.
Highlander, I wouldn't have guessed. The weird thing is, the title, the typeface they've used doesn't match any of the marketing, or you would have thought they would have done a better job of it, but sadly no.
It's rather underwhelming too.
Yeah, true. And Highlander, and I've been looking forward to this bit. Can I do it? Can everybody just humor me? Just for this one.
Yeah.
You ready?
Go for it.
From the dawn of time we came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. No one has ever known we were among you until now.
That was so accurate, you're going to get a copyright strike.
Yeah, probably. I hope not. Oh, that'd be bad. I hope I don't get one for the trailer, but the trailer's public domain, so there we go. We'll see what happens.
Moving silently through the centuries, eating many splendid sausage sandwiches.
Yes, I came home from work yesterday and all my books were on the floor. I blame myself. Sorry. Moving swiftly on.
Tomorrow morning, I'm playing sport. Some tennis.
Yes, put your cock away, your shuttlecock. We'll catch up with the chat soon. We'll do some slides and then we'll catch up with you guys in the chat. But just before I go any further, what do you reckon? Highlander, fun or flop? What are your thoughts about Highlander? When did you see it for the first time, guys? Let me know in the chat and we'll have a chat about that soon. So, all right, back onto the slides. The film starts at a wrestling match in Madison Square Garden, of all places. And Connor's getting this inkling. We don't know him yet. We don't know any of his backstory. But he's sat there and he's reminiscing. But he's sensing, because these immortals can sense each other with a thing called the quickening. So when another immortal's about, they sort of get a tingling, not just in their bladder, as people mentioned in the chat. So he has a bit of a flashback to the Highlands of Scotland.
Spider sense.
Yeah, like a spider sense. So this is the Clan MacLeod, and obviously clans battled a lot in the Highlands because apart from molesting yaks, there wasn't a great deal to do, to be fair. So yeah, it's kilts ahoy. Do you ever sport a kilt, Melv?
I have never worn a kilt. I threatened to once,
Really?
but then talked myself out of it because I figured I was probably just going to get molested a lot.
Okay. So MacLeod's getting a feeling in his bones, and he starts sensing out with his immortal spider sense, you know. And there's a bit of a running joke. This jacket is wearing, this cloak. They have a thing about katana space because he's been sat down and he's got like a 6-foot katana and it's not sticking out anywhere and he's sat down spot on. But we'll chat about that a little bit later on.
Let's do a poll on where you think he's going to keep it.
Yeah. So he meets up with another immortal. This is Iman Fasil, who has this Scaramanca broadsword or whatever. But despite Brenda being, who we'll be introduced to a little bit later on, despite her being very knowledgeable about swords and whatnot, that sword is actually wrong. You know how they say it's like a Salamanca broadsword or whatever.
A Toledo Salamanca.
That's it. But that's actually a rapier blade, not actually a sword blade.
Isn't a rapier a kind of sword? But she said it was a broadsword, though. Okay.
Yeah, but we're talking like a foil type, fencing type.
Yeah,
blade.
rapiers are small and thin. They're designed to flex.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah,
Dodge, thrust, parry.
Yeah, broadswords are just solid iron, which are designed to just plow through things.
So,
which is
all
what our
these-
main antagonist is wielding. He has a broadsword, but yeah, that's not a broadsword.
Yeah, but MacLeod's got a katana, but we'll find out why he's got a katana.
You know, I don't think Brenda knows anything about swords because she pulled some metal at one of them pillars and decided it was a Japanese sword. Like, no possible way. It could have been off a car for all she knew. You know?
Yeah.
So I
There's
think
a
her
lot
head's
of
in the clouds.
implausibility. There's a lot of implausibility in this film. We get to learn soon why they fight with swords, but more about that soon. So here's this bit here. MacLeod has taken a swipe at Facile after a bit of a showdown, and he's taken his head off. And that's where Brenda gets a sample out of the wall. Now, Facile's on the floor, his head's rolling around, and this mystical, weird energy comes out of his body and transposes itself onto MacLeod, and all the cars in the car park start coming on, and some lose their oil, and they all get the windows blown out through this mystical energy, which is great. But we get to find out that's also called the quickening, which is a weird thing, because when they sense each other, it's the quickening, and when they take the head from another immortal, the power released is also the quickening. And why do they behead each other? That's the only way these immortals can be killed. So there's like a bit of a cult around them, and they all know, basically that they've got to behead one another until there's only one, because there can only be one. So we're on another flashback now, back into the Scottish Highlands. And there's some good, flashbacks to this. And there's this bit of a battle going off. And this one particular chap on the right says to the other people who are fighting the MacLeods, he says, "There's one among them called Connor. He is mine." Because even though MacLeod at this point isn't immortal, he's what's called a pre-immortal. So you have to die in kind of a nasty way for you to become one of these immortals. So this chap on the right, Clancy Brown, he plays the Kurgan, and his backstory is he's like a Russian Black Knight who, his people, instead of like doing fun things for entertainment, they used to chuck children into pits of dogs. So at this point, MacLeod...
For a giggle.
Yeah, just for a laugh, as you do,
There was
at the weekend.
a novelization of this where it gave you a bit more backstory for the Kurgan. How
Really?
His father tried to kill him, and he came back and he put some burning coal down his throat while he was sleeping, which is a strange way to kill somebody.
Yeah.
There was a few things in the novelization. It started with a battle where everybody was dead and the only people alive was the Kurgan and the Mongolian. And then they charge each other on their horses across the battlefield, and the Kurgan cuts off the head of the horse and the man in one go.
Nice.
That would have been a good scene to put in.
If I ever bump into the Kurgan, I'll remind him that hot water bottles are a lot easier than cold down your throat. But anyway, MacLeod's mortally wounded, and the Kurgan's just about to take his head. But Connor's clansmen dive in and rescue him, which is, nice of him. And then we're whisked back to modern day, 1985, New York, and the cops have got MacLeod. Bang to right, sir. But he looks dead sleazy there, doesn't he? Like, yeah, I'm looking for a type of woman. Interesting fact that me and Help Desk were mentioning in the green room before we went on air. The fact that Christopher Lambert couldn't speak English. He taught himself to speak English in 6 weeks for this role.
Apparently, Sean Connery gave him some coaching as well for his lines.
Apparently, Sean Connery tried to give everyone on the set some coaching.
Yeah, as
he
Sean
complained
Connery
bitterly.
likes to.
Yeah, he complained bitterly about how terrible everyone there was.
Yeah, I'm sure they were shit. He was only there for 7 days. All of his scenes were filmed in 7 days.
Yeah, they'd only got him for a short time, and there was some kind of bet, like saying something like Russell McKay. He said, we can do this in 7 days, and Sean was like, "Oh, I bet you can't." And he got a $250 million for doing this in 7 days. So nice 1 week work for Sean Connery. earned him $1 million. That's nice. So anyway, cops have got MacLeod. He's banged to rights. Let's just have a quick catch up with the chat, shall we? This is funny. I like this. Gavin Blackburn says more historically accurate than Braveheart.
Probably.
Oh, this is a good one. Carl Voigtlander. My favourite line in the movie, nuns, no sense of humour. That's true. This is a good one. MC says, like a bit of Queen. Gavin Blackburn rightly says, Ramirez is still alive in 2. No, he comes back.
He comes back,
from the magic.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Inexplicably.
Yeah,
well,
but
the way they
magic
explain it is when those other creatures run into a telephone line or wherever it is that cuts their heads off. It was a line that Ramirez says, if you ever need me, just call out my name. So when he's doing the quickening, he calls it out, and then the lightning bounces off the shield that's protecting the earth, and he ends up, I think, in England. He ends up in some other place where he has to fly back to New York to be with
I thought he ended up in Scotland.
Yeah, Glencoe.
Oh, there you go. I know he ended up in front of Shakespeare, a play that they were doing.
Yeah, Hamlet or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't Glencoe. It was supposed to be in Glencoe, I believe.
Right, there we go. Franco Walker says, hello, me, gamer, help desk and Melvin.
Franco,
hello, Franco. Nice to have you aboard, matey. Hope you're enjoying that wrench. Andrew Broadbent's with us. Hail, Trev and friends. Hello, mate. You're all right. Brian's in the chat. He says, MacLeod, you're shite. For sure, yes.
Nice.
Oh, I like that. That is well done. Yeah. Tom says in the chat, Corn Shonnery. I like that. That's not bad. What's this one? Sword in the Storm says, when the stroke of a sword and the fall of a head will release the power of the quickening. Yeah, that's true. Tom says, yes, Miss Moneypenny. This is a good line. When this copper says to him later, he says, are you a F-word, Nash? He says, why are you cruising for a piece of ass, Garfield? That's not bad. Although I kind of went Peter Lorre then. Oh, dear. MC said he bought it on Blu-ray last year. I got it for Blu-ray too. This is not bad. Tom says, there can be only one.
Nice.
That's smooth. I like that one. Manum says, fun. Don't think about the logic too much. You know, it's one of those where you kind of sort of like leave your brain and sense of logic at the door. It's a film. You've got to like let it go and just get on with it, haven't you, basically? If you think too much about certain films, it spoils the enjoyment, I think.
Yeah, it's a silly fantasy.
True. Meanwhile, Victor Kruger signs in to a hotel guest book. But who is it? It's the Kurgan, played by Clancy Brown. I still can't get over the fact he's Mr. fucking Krabs. Mr. Krabs!
Yes, SpongeBob, me boy. Don't lose your head, like Mr. Squidward.
Christ, that hurt my throat. I think I need some Scottish mouthwash just to alleviate the vocal cords just a tiny bit. Clancy Brown's great in this.
What I found interesting is they referred to his character as being 7 feet tall, and I had to look him up because I wasn't sure. He's only 6'3", so everyone else must be really short in comparison.
He must have Gary Glitter's boots.
Christopher Lambert is not tall. I don't know what he is, about 5'8" or something. And when you see Lambert's scenes with Sean Connery, they keep on making them like standing on a little incline, and Sean Connery's always standing downhill from him, and he still looks bigger.
This impresses me greatly. The Kurgan is a lot older than MacLeod, and he's got a very portable sword, and it's really good. That is a good concept. I like that. So he puts his sword together, and the door opens up, and this woman goes in and goes, "Hi, I'm Candy," and he goes, "I'm sure you are." She looks rough and all. I won't touch her.
Oh,
Jesus.
God, yeah.
She's definitely got a dose of the arse-injected death sentence with her, I reckon, but that doesn't bother him because he's immortal, jammy bastard. So anyway, we're introduced to Brenda Wyatt, She's a police forensics person, played by Roxanne Hart. Now, I've got to admit, she is fucking drop dead gorgeous, I think. She's nice.
I want to hear what Melvin has to say.
Yeah, go on, Mel.
I'm not saying anything, right? She's got a big chest, so I'm not going to argue with anybody. But we know where this conversation leads. But look, she's got udders. Yeah.
She's not from Yorkshire. She's not from Huddersfield.
You don't like Huddersfield,
Look,
you.
I've seen worse, but I wouldn't say drop dead gorgeous.
Oh, I don't know. She floats my boat greatly.
Like, I wouldn't step over her to get to you, but
well, yeah, there is that. But each to their own, I suppose.
A few folks in the chat seem to have a different opinion from Melvin there.
Yeah, look, we're fine.
Let me go down. Let me go down. Yeah, Tom says, "Wow, nice." MC says, "I've had a quickening with a few women. I bet you have." What's this? Oh, controversial. Not Brian says Melvin is no true Scotsman.
Watch it, Brian. I know approximately where you live.
Nice. And
I know what kind of cat to look for outside your house. You told me.
Is it a Skoda?
Nah. Scottish people don't drive them.
Oh, really? Oh. Yeah. Anyway, this is Brenda. I think she's pretty. I think she's really is nice. I think she's gorgeous, but
she looks just like a Brenda, doesn't she? I mean, that name suits her perfectly. She looks like a Brenda.
She looks like she'd like she'd do well sat on my lap.
She looks like a barmaid that gets a lot of tips.
Ah, PG. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Swiftly.
Brenda's gone back and she's decided to take a few more pieces of sword debris out of this concrete pillar because she got the results back and determined from a few scraps that this sword was folded 200 times, I think it is. And doing a bit of further research, apparently, the more you fold a sword, the weaker it becomes, which is bizarre.
I don't know how many times the Japanese had to fold their swords, but the metal, the iron over there was a very low quality, and they had to keep folding it to hammer out the impurities. But I don't know how many times they've done it.
Well, apparently you can only fold it 8 times before it starts to lose its structural integrity. That's according to all the internet experts, anyway. I mean, it could be wrong, but, it's only what I've read via IMDb. Well, anyway, MacLeod,
if you're folding it 8 times, that gives you 256 layers.
There is that, I suppose.
Because it's constantly doubling it. So it's 2, you fold it, you get 4, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah. So, but I'm pretty sure 100 is actually quite normal for a katana sword because they'd sprinkle. It's great. They'd sprinkle in the bones of their enemies to, sort of like infuse them with magic. All that did was actually add calcium and carbon, which did actually turn it into a stronger form of iron.
And the more you know.
I know.
I put the bones of my enemies in my cornflakes in the morning.
Nice. And I drink the tears of lefties. I'm not mentioning anything about that. I had a bit of a rum do last, was it last Saturday or the Saturday before? Some weirdo decided to sink his teeth into me, but, I'm a bit of a Rottweiler. I don't let it go. I keep going for the jugular. Anyway, moving
on. The whole fantasy part of not losing, trying not to focus too much on reality. I think this part speaks to that because doesn't he say that when he was in Japan, it was like whoever he was married to, his father-in-law, it's like the rarest sword.
Ramirez.
It was Ramirez, excuse me. Yeah, that was like the rarest sword ever.
Well, it was one of a kind. It was made with that technique before its time, and it is commented. It's like the sword itself was made 500 years before it was actually. Was it a bit more than that before it was actually possible? Yeah.
What you said about the Wright brothers, like finding a jumbo jet 500 years before the Wright brothers. That's a hell of a leap as well, isn't it? That is a hell of a leap when you're making a sword and making a jumbo jet. It's like, no, maybe not a great comparison.
Brian says, hit the like button if you have a massive sword. Ash and Prism's in the chat now as well. We'll catch up with the chat soon. So MacLeod's spying on Brenda. I'd be too, to be fair. And then he goes in a bar and he drops her like a trick question. And she basically decides, he's cottoned on to me. She storms out, and it's all a bit of a play because she's a copper. And she decides to do a bit of stalking. I wish you were following me. Oy. So on the way, Kurgan sort of pops up out of nowhere, and they start having a bit of a fight. And then the police come round with a helicopter. And Kurgan says, "Another time, MacLeod," as he does in that nice gravelly tone he's got. And then he has a bit of a flashback to after he's come back to life and made a miraculous recovery, all his kinsmen start shunning him because they think it's witchcraft. The lady to the left there, she accuses him of being in league with the devil. So anyway, he's putting a yoke.
She's me too in him already. Did you see James Cosmo there?
No. Oh, yeah, I did actually. There he is on the right. There. A fine Scottish actor. Been in several great productions. So MacLeod's put in a yoke and he's outcast from his village and his clan. And he gets stoned and everything, but not the kind where you need wacky-backy.
Yeah. They put him in a yoke and made him wear a skirt and kicked him out of the village.
Yeah. So in the future, back in present day, should I say, Nash is quite a well-known antiques dealer. Russell Nash, that's his new assumed identity. So he's got an antique shop, and in his little secret hidey hole are all the fruits of his labours over the centuries. He's collected all kinds of bits and bobs, which are worth an absolute fortune. But to him, it's just like his collection of knickknacks. He's collected all these things firsthand. But when you've been alive over 300 years, that's the kind of thing what happens. 5 years later on, MacLeod's settled in with Heather. He's got a little cottage at the side of what kind of a structure is that called in Scotland, where it's like an abandoned castle and somebody starts building on it? Is there any particular word for that up Scotland, apart from squatting?
Yeah, squatting, I suppose. I don't know. It seemed like a bit of a grand design for a guy with nothing.
Yeah. So he's MacLeod's having a bit of a snoggle with Heather, his new wife, and this horse jumps over him. And you see a pair of massive horse knackers, which always makes me chuckle. And Sean Connery, here he is, and he plays an Egyptian with a Spaniard's name. Something like Juan Sanchez Ramirez. So we'll just refer to him as Ramirez. It's a lot easier. But he's a Scotsman playing an Egyptian Spaniard. As you do, you know.
As is common. Every time I'm drunk.
But he's quite the dandy in this film. He's covered in peacock feathers and he's wearing like a purple... He looks very 70s, doesn't he? He looks like a pimp.
It's like Billy Connolly.
I don't know. He looks the part. He really does look the part. So he says, "You're Conor MacLeod," and then he teaches him about the quickening, which is getting struck by lightning and walking away. Well, you know, it happens, doesn't it? Anybody got any thoughts and comments so far?
I think what was interesting is the woman that was screaming to burn him at the stake and everything. In an earlier scene, she's the one that's handing him flowers as they're going off to battle. And I was kind of chuckling at that last night. It's like, wow, talk about turning on a dime.
Oh, Mama Bear.
Religion very
Sorry, Mama Bear says in the chat, I love this movie and still do. Sorry, when it first was released in theatres, trivia, decades later, I had the pleasure of meeting both Clancy Brown and Sean Connery at my job. Cool guys. I met Sean Connery years and years ago. I used to work at a knitwear mill, and he used to come and buy stuff out the shop. He didn't really buy it. He used to just pick loads of stuff up and walk off. But nobody's going to stop him. He's Sean Connery. Anyway, Malv, you were saying?
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh,
that's Mama Badger, by the way, not Mama Bear. Mama Badger.
Right. Sorry. Gamer, you're very quiet. What are your thoughts so far?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you heard me what I was saying. I was talking about the woman in the earlier scene in the scene we just saw that where she's like burning him at the stake when he's got the stocks on his arms and everything. That a scene just prior to that, she was handing him flowers as they were going off the battle. I'm like, talk about switching on a dime.
Oh yeah, sorry. I remember now. It's all right.
Oh, it's okay. My apologies. I thought I was on mute and you didn't hear me.
Oh, I was just having a brain fart.
When it showed you them going off to battle at the start, like the very, very first scene.
Yeah.
It says he's from Glenfinnan, but that castle there isn't Glenfinnan. That's Eileen Donan Castle. It's at, where is it? Dorney. It's about 80-mile drive from Glenfinnan. If you were driving.
Really? That is a good shout there. I like that, Mel. Very, very good.
I've been on Google all day.
Brunts. So anyway, Brenda and the police are very interested in Russell Nash, but he looks really weird, doesn't he? He's got, I don't know whether it's the whole Gaelic French thing. Has he got a gall nose, that kind of thing? But he's certainly got some strange features.
He's got that intense look, but apparently it's because he had terrible eyesight and he was always squinting to see things.
Yeah, he's very myopic. He falls over a hell of a lot. In fact, he's had some recent accidents where he's fell downstairs because he didn't know where the stairs were. I think he should move in a fucking bungalow if he's that bad.
He was a really heavy smoker as well. He aids very badly in a very short space of time. He smokes like 80 fags a day. 80 cigarettes a day. People.
He is sort of French.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he was fed up of people pronouncing his name wrong as well, because everybody was saying Christopher Lambert, but it's actually Lambert.
Lambert.
So, in the sequel, he fronted some money up for the production of the movie, and it says Lamb Bear, as in animals, entertainment, just to get that across to people.
Oh.
So
hello, McFly.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a copy of Brenda's book, A Metallurgical History of Ancient Sword Making. She's very knowledgeable. She knows a lot about swords. He's got her book, and he's having a bit of a chuckle about it, to be fair. So we get back in time to Lock 1, Lock 2, Lock 3. So I'm going a bit space.
I'm not sure where this was filmed, but that little stretch there looks like Loch Lomond. But I don't know if it is or not. But it certainly looks like it. It probably is.
You know more than I, so I defer to your better judgment, sir. So Ramirez is going to teach MacLeod that he's immortal and he can't die. And he starts rocking the boat. And MacLeod's cacking his pants, basically. But it's funny. And it's actually a good part of the movie. It's the character building of MacLeod. He's getting trained because Ramirez, even though he's sort of like a competing immortal, I think he likes to. I think he knows that MacLeod's got a bit of a density, Lorraine, and he wants to try and educate him and help him win the prize, as opposed to the Kurgan. He's using MacLeod as a means to foil the Kurgan, because apparently if the Kurgan wins the prize, it spells doom and gloom for humanity. And there's a good scene at the bottom of this lake, and he's like tapping at fish and stuff. And I think there's a nod to this scene in Star Trek Insurrection when Mr. Data's under the water. Could be wrong, but it seems rather coincidental. I like on this sword as well, it says MacLeod. You know,
just in case he loses it. He's got the same name inside his underwear as well.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't got any. He wears a kilt. He's got nothing on under his kilt.
When they were on the boat and Ramirez said haggis sounded revolting. This is the bit here when MacLeod comes out and tries to cut him in half. He should have said, "Apologise for what you said about the haggis."
Do you like haggis, Melv?
Oh yeah, haggis is wonderful. Have you ever tried it? I'm assuming you have.
I have.
Yeah,
I have indeed. I have a lot of Scottish relatives.
It's a bit like black pudding, but better.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of black pudding.
Me as
People
well.
look at me gone out when I eat that, and I absolutely adore it. It's fantastic. So anyway, MacLeod comes out of the lake. He's covered in seaweed and all kinds of cack. And tries to sneak up on Ramirez, like Mel said. And as he brings his sword down, Ramirez disappears, but he's got the drop on MacLeod. There's a good bit as well where MacLeod shakes his kilt and 3 fish drop out. So one must have been up his ass crack and one either side of his groin or something.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, where did them fish come from? It must have gone up his clacker.
Yeah, it must have been the ones you hear about in the Amazon.
Yeah. So this is a part of MacLeod's training. And it's funny, they're at the seaside now. Are there any filming locations near, if this was real, where would the nearest beach be from where MacLeod's supposed to be?
It wouldn't be that far. So they're up in, what would it be, the northwest. So
Right.
they'd be near the sea. Yeah.
Right.
I had a question about this. Is this actually a Scottish beach, or did they film this somewhere else? That water is very blue or green looking, almost like it's in the Caribbean.
Oh, it looks Scottish. When the weather's nice, the water is blue, but the weather's just not always nice.
The beach is a place called Refuge Bay, Curtag, near Moray.
There you go.
Yeah, the more you know. So anyway, he's been taught
Isle of Skye, if you want to be a little bit more precise on that one.
Okay. Feel free to cut me off any time.
Okay. Can I throw something in here?
Yeah, sure, Malv.
Right. Okay. So the Isle of Skye, that reminded me of something. There used to be, here's a history lesson, right? There used to be a guy called Olaf the Black, and he was the king of the Isle of Man and the Hebrides, which used to be one kingdom back, 1,000 years ago, whatever. And he had a son called Ugly. That was his son's name. Right?
Oh, that's nice.
I'll elaborate in a minute. And Ugly inherited some land on the Isle of Skye from his father when he died, and also from his godfather or something. So he ended up being a chief on the Isle of Skye. And this guy, Olaf the Black, obviously was a Viking, right? So his son, the word for ugly was Leod, L-E-O-D. And Ugly's sons were known as MacLeod, M-A-C-L-E-O-D, son of Ugly. And that is where the clan MacLeod came from, all from Leod, son of Olaf the Black.
Wow, that is deep. That's like Horrible Histories, but better.
I had the right accent for it as well.
Yeah. So MacLeod just means what? Ugly twat.
Son of Ugly. Son of Ugly.
Well, that's nice. Anyway, so more training. It's a bit like Jedi. Basically Ramirez is Yoda, and MacLeod is Luke Skywalker.
They got the sizes reversed.
Yeah, and he gets this tree dropped on him, which is quite a funny scene. But if you notice, Ramirez has got that katana that MacLeod had in the opening fight, but he's got his original broadsword there. Heather's watching in the background. She was quite tasty too. I bet you wouldn't kick her out of your clan, would you, Melv?
No, not at all.
Oh. So,
I like the first one better, the mental one, because mental women are better fun, as long as you don't let them get too drunk.
Well, yeah, I suppose. So anyway, the training continues, and MacLeod starts getting a bit tasty. Starts getting the drop on Ramirez a time or two. And he teaches MacLeod that because he's immortal, he's got like an extra sense, not just this quickening malarkey, but he can sense other animals and what people are thinking and what they're doing, that kind of thing. And he says, yes, you've got to feel the beating heart of the stag.
Yeah, a heightened sense of awareness.
And then he has a bit of a run on the beach. And then these two ding-dongs jump off for a cliff, but they're immortal. It doesn't matter. They'll come back. They always do.
It's all good.
And then MacLeod finally beats Ramirez at swordry. Swordry, that's not even a fucking word, is it? Swordsmanship.
Yeah, swordry is a word now. We've fixed the English language.
There we go. Yeah, he's not going to get his sword. He must have got it back. basically, those two guys could fucking jump off there, couldn't they? Don't matter if they break their neck, they come in bike.
You could see an argument there because Sean Connery is quite tight, and that sword was worth a lot of money.
Yeah, true. But yet again, MacLeod's getting the drop on Ramirez. He's like got that Jedi voodoo magic, and then he starts telling him about his sword. Yes, hold my sword, Highlander. Which sword do you want me to hold?
Yeah.
The metal one or the pork one? The metal one, you twat. Let's just, we'll have a quick catch up with the chat. What are the chat saying? Brian says, ooh, matron. Ooh. Sword in the Storm, that's a rough hooker. Who's he on about? Who are you on about?
I think it was an old hag walking about there in the background.
All right. Lord Toxic, thank you for joining us. Christopher Lambert. His name's Christoph Lambert. He's legally blind and can't wear contacts, makes sword fighting dodgy. I wouldn't want to have a go. Gavin Blackburn says, I take my pork sword everywhere I go. Uh-oh. This can't be good.
Yeah, that was ages ago.
I know, sorry.
Look, Brian, I'm gay for the boobies, man. You know me.
Well, let me just get past all these rude remarks. Common People says, this is quite interesting. Highlander would be banned in the UK today. Really?
Well, they banned swords, didn't they? So maybe, don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not banned, but I don't know. It would struggle to get a decent certificate, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the more you know. Gavin Blackburn says China make the best katanas. 19.99 for a set of 3 on Temu. Don't mention Temu. I've started calling my wife Tina Temu. Everything's from effing Temu. What's this? Tom says, I eat my pot noodle with a fork made out of the bones of my enemy. That sounds rather mean. What's this one? Franco Walker. I eat mashed potato out of the hollowed out skull of my enemies. Is it smash or proper stuff? Yeah, I don't know. Gavin Blackburn. Oh, my man. Scampy knickknacks are the best. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about there, but
yeah.
Oh dear. Oh,
The
Ashley
best
Prism
compared
says
to what? The best knickknacks, maybe, but aside from that, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm a bit behind with the chat. I'm sorry. Ashen Prism says Sean Connery can play any nation with his Scottish accent. It's true that.
That's true. He was an Irish police officer. Brajiba.
Oh, there we go. Wayfarer's done me a solid here. He says Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, which really does sound Egyptian, doesn't it?
Yeah, all of it does. Yeah,
interesting.
Villalobos is House of Wolves, isn't it? Something like that.
Oh, hey, we've got a good one here. Geek Hero Bubba. I'm a massive Highlander fan. I own a copy of everything that's ever been put on screen from this franchise. Movies, TV series, spin-off, animated and anime. Yeah, there's been a couple, hasn't there, of animations. Did
I like the
anybody
TV
watch?
series. I watched all the seasons of that. With,
Yeah. What did you think to Adrian Paul playing Duncan MacLeod?
I liked it. And you were talking earlier about how Christopher Lambert, when you were talking about Sean Connery, that they only had Connery for 7 days. Well, Christopher Lambert was only available for 1 day of shooting for the pilot for the TV series. So they had to get all the shots in 1 day because it cost like $86,000 for 1 day for him, which I guess was the SAG minimum. But I liked the TV series. I watched all the seasons with.
Oh, that
Adrian
was a
Paul.
shame. Do you remember the guy who played Richie?
Yeah,
he sadly ended himself, didn't he, a couple of years ago, if you remember?
That was a few years ago. Yeah.
Tom
There's a crossover movie with both of them too.
There is.
Yeah.
And then there's also The Raven as well, which I never actually got round to watching.
I didn't watch The Raven.
Tom says Christopher Lambert and Butler. I like that.
Very good.
Not bad. An English brand of cigarettes. One here for you. Gamer, that woman just likes being the centre of attention, banging or burning.
Burn him! Burn him! Yeah. No.
Oh, this is quite an interesting little tidbit. Sword in the Storm says Lambert turned down the role of Riggs in Lethal Weapon.
Good.
Yeah, that was a good choice.
Hey, this is quite a good continuity error. Lord Toxic says, love how Connor changes his name every 50 years, but Duncan, the TV MacLeod, keeps his name for eternity. that is a good shout there. What's this? Sword in the Storm says he was also first choice for Bond in The Living Daylights, but lost it because of his accent. Yeah.
And not because he was 4 feet tall.
True. Ashen Prism says Connery turned down Gandalf. He didn't get the character or movie. That is true.
He said he didn't understand it. I'm guessing he just never read it.
There we go. Oh, Geek Hero Bubba. I like this. It's also the spirit of sportsmanship. Many, like Ramirez, wanted to make sure the new Immortals had a fair shot. That's not bad. That's a good shout, actually. I quite like that.
I thought he was kind of the opinion that at his age, he probably wasn't going to win it, so he would help somebody else win it.
Manolo says haggis is nice. The neeps were disgusting, though. There's no wrong with neeps.
Yep, apologise.
Definitely. Oh, he wants to try tatties and mince. I like that. What's your favourite Scottish meal then, Melv?
Scottish food is just food, right? I mean, we have the same food as everybody else.
True.
Chips and eggs and pies and steak and chicken and everything else. But something that's just Scottish and nothing else. Well, there's not really much, is there? I suppose haggis, because there's really not much that is actually just Scottish food and not anything else. But you get haggis in other cultures as well, don't you?
I don't know.
Haggis, Greek, if I remember rightly.
Hey, this is dummy. Common People says, I like Trev's Connery accent via Scunthorpe. What are you trying to say? I live nowhere near Scunny.
My favourite Scottish food, kebabs.
Who put the that word in Scunthorpe? I'm not saying it. If you see the naughty word in Scunthorpe, we can be friends.
Oh.
There is actually a story about that. The Middle English, and when the Vikings invaded, they chucked the S on the front to sort of like a load of the coastal towns. And what was it? Scarborough wanted to go back to the original English name and take the S off, and they wanted to be Carborough. And Scunthorpe were very dead against it because they'd have to follow suit.
Really?
True story.
Is it really a true story?
Unfortunately, it is. It's one of those ridiculous ones.
I'll tell you a couple of my favourite things from Scotland. Well, 3. Tunnock's tea cakes. That's a definite.
Yeah.
Bar's Iron Brew, of course. That's one of my primary fuel sources. And Lorne sausage.
Oh,
What's
yes.
long sausage?
Lorne sausage.
Lorne.
Yeah.
What is it?
Square sausage.
Square sliced sausage.
Ooh.
I mean,
Like
it's
a
just
patty.
pork.
Like a patty to you.
Oh, okay.
But
They're
better.
really nice as well.
Beef or pork, but the beef are the best.
Pork. You said pork.
Yeah, you said a bad word.
Ooh.
Haggis intrigues me, but I would need to go to a restaurant where they know to prepare it. I mean, like Gordon Ramsay or somebody like that, because just the description's off-putting. But I've seen it and it looks good, but I've never had the opportunity for somebody to prepare it correctly.
Heart, lungs, and stomach of a sheep wrapped in its own stomach and boiled. I mean, how does that sound disgusting?
I don't know.
Oatmeal and spices as well.
Food poisoning all the time.
There's oats and barley in there as well. Tom says in the chat, what about deep fried Mars bars?
Yeah, that's a tourist trap. Don't fall for it.
What, the deep fried Mars bars?
Yeah, normal
Deep
people.
fried Snickers.
I mean, that's insane. Who would eat a deep fried Mars bar? I'll tell you who. An idiot tourist who read something on the internet.
Yeah.
There's many a fare here in the United States where you can get alligator on a stick. I highly recommend
it. I've always wanted to go to a boil, like
a fish boil.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the best. I highly recommend it if you ever get the chance when you're in the States. It's really
I
good.
love crawdads, and we don't really get them over here.
Yeah,
Brian says
I'm a huge fan of crawfish since I moved to the South.
Yeah. Not Brian says you can't beat a Tunnock's tea cake. That's true.
Traditionally, you smack it on your forehead before you eat it to crack the chocolate shell.
No, you don't.
You do.
You
really
softy
don't.
shy.
You really don't.
All right, someone Google that and tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, you don't. Because the inside's marshmallow. You squash it on your forehead, you're going to squash it on your forehead.
So
Tunnock's caramel logs, they're very nice.
Oh, yeah. Anything Tunnock's, really. I had a good education with my family in Motherwell. I was introduced early on to ice cream vans. They are amazing in Scotland. You can buy anything from an ice cream van in Scotland. Kalashnikov, sir. Yes, I'll have one of those. Would you like some rounds with that and some magazines? Hey.
I have had a Scottish breakfast before. It was, what was it, 2 shots of whiskey and 1 shot of brandy.
Nice.
Well, I mean, the Scottish guy said it was 2 eggs and a capo, but...
Have you...
Thank you, I'm here all week.
Have you ever had a Portuguese breakfast?
No, but I'd like to.
Yeah. If anybody knows that reference, please do comment in the chat. So anyway, at Connor's ramshackle built castle, it's looking a bit grim.
Looks like a painting, doesn't it? Is that real?
It does. So Ramirez has been entertained by Heather, and then he starts getting the inkling. And who turns up? It's not Pendulette, it's the Kurgan. He does look freaky, doesn't he?
It's Leslie Headland.
It's like, oh, don't. There's a price involved in making comments like that, and I'm not prepared to pay the price. So Ramirez starts having a bit of a song and dance with the Kurgan, and they go up this like really dodgy set of steps. Unfortunately, Ramirez loses his head.
Do you know when you're watching a film, you know the bit in Heat when Robert De Niro is leaving and then he gets the phone call and he goes back and you're going, don't go back, you stupid fucker, and you've seen the film 5 times, but you're still shouting at him, don't go back. Yeah, that's this bit here. He's fighting the Kurgan and he had a clear shot to take his head off and instead he stabbed him through the belly. And it's like, go for the head, moron.
Yeah, but there's only one place. Even though they're immortal, there's only one place they can scar, and that's on the neck.
Yeah, so he stabs him in the belly when he had a clear shot at the neck. It was mad.
He had a bit of a slice, didn't he, of his neck?
Yeah, that was when he knocked him off the stairs earlier on in the fight, yeah.
Yeah, and that scar is evident when we go back to 1985. But Ramirez, he's done for. Gavin Blackburn says, don't listen, help desk, keep smashing those Tunnocks on your head. Do you know?
Right, one thing I do know about this movie, this scene was nearly a huge accident.
Really?
Clancy Brown comes in with the sword, and he was just meant to slam it down beside Sean Connery to start the fight off. What actually happened was it clipped the chandelier, went off at an angle, and nearly took Sean Connery's head off. Nearly smacked him in the neck. And so Sean Connery actually stormed off the set screaming about how terrible Clancy Brown was as an actor.
Really? He was great in Buckaroo Banzai.
What a wee girl complaining about nearly getting decapitated.
Yeah, so Heather sees what's going off. She's not best impressed, and we find out her fate a little bit later on. It didn't particularly go too well for Heather.
She got some free, guilt-free sweet loving.
Yeah. Not by choice either. So in Nash's antique shop, this is Rachel, and we get to find out a bit about her backstory. But Brenda, there she is. She looks cracking, Melv. How can you not?
Look, there's nothing wrong with her, but she's not drop dead gorgeous. I mean, come on.
Oh, to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, look, it's like I wouldn't knock her back. If I was out on the pool and she was in the bar, yeah, fair enough, no problem. But, it's like she's no stunning.
Anyway, just a quickie. We did mention Portuguese breakfast. Menemone says a Portuguese breakfast is when a woman stands on her head, so she's upside down, and then spreads her legs apart. Oh my gold!
Oh, God's
yeah.
sake.
So anyway, Lord Toxic said, subbed, liked, commented, and shared. Love to stream with you guys sometime. Hey, mate, you are more than welcome. If you're on the Twattersphere, I shall find you. I have a certain set of skills. I will find you, and I will add you.
Toxic streams with Northern English Bastard and Stupendo.
Oh, Oh, he's a friend of a friend, is it? Oh, well, that's all the more easier to help me find you. Good luck. Oh, yeah. So anyway, we'll find out a bit more about Rachel a little on. In fact, right now, he says, not remembering the slides. So we go back to World War II, and Connor has a bit of a rumble with a SS colonel, and he gets hold of his gun eventually and says, and this bloke's going, das ist gut, ja, scheiße, and all this malarkey. And MacLeod says, whatever, Jack, you're the master race, and shoots him. And this little girl is Rachel. So he rescued her from Nazi Germany, which was a kind thing. And there she is in 1985. She looks a bit sort of like a Poundland Joanna Lumley, doesn't she?
Yeah, so she looks like she was good looking 20 years before.
Yeah. A couple of whiskies and she's milfable, I suppose. So MacLeod goes to Brenda's. So she's wanted to find out more about MacLeod. And he's brought some brandy from like 1782 or something. Really expensive stuff. But there's an interesting little screw up. Because while he's looking around her apartment, she puts a gun in the second drawer down on a little, like, set of drawers. When MacLeod opens the top drawer, he pulls the gun out. So that's an error in continuity. So he gives Brenda a gift, and it's a copy of her own book.
Maybe it was, what do you call it? It was David Copperfield's set of drawers that she bought at a car boot sale or something.
Yeah. There's also some really, really bad focus pulling in this particular batch of scenes when he's in the apartment. It's like the cameraman's on a YTS scheme. It gets a bit shaky and the focus is a bit dodgy in places. But hey-ho. So she's getting a bit, she's going a bit Italian there, isn't she? Hey. But she's rather enthusiastic. I think she's cracking. My wife will hear this on the re-rub and she'll give me some shit about it, but I don't give a fuck. So MacLeod reflects upon his relationship with Heather, and he has to see people he loves grow old, and Heather unfortunately dies, and he burns his little cottage down, leaves his sword behind because he's got Ramirez's katana.
When you see how they are, when you see how they're all like 100 years old and on their way out, that's how Peter Andre must feel when he sees Katie Price right now.
Ooh, God no. How he could have bounced around on top of that fucking thing.
Oh,
she is a disgusting human. She is the very definition of the joke from Predator. I said to my other girlfriend the other day, I'd like a little pussy. She said, me too. Mine's as big as a house. Geez, you got a big pussy. Geez, you got a big pussy. Why did you say it twice? I didn't. It's because of the echo. Sorry.
Have you seen what she looks like lately? Good God Almighty.
She's got turkey teeth and everything, hasn't she? She
looks like an alien. She looks like she's had a hair transplant as well.
Ooh, gold. No, I never liked her. When she was in that newspaper with a very active title, Sport, I didn't think too much of her then, you know?
Like 25 years ago, she was good looking. But now, man, nah.
I think 25 years ago, she was willing to take her top off. I think that's the only reason why people found her good looking.
Well, she got to the point where she was bragging she had enough silicon in her body to kill a small elephant. And I'm sure I heard that line in the movie Orgasmo.
Just with the weight.
Yeah. So in New York Central Park, MacLeod catches up with one of his buddies.
Castigia.
That's him. Yeah. And they have a bit of a swag of something out of his flask. Probably some dodgy Caribbean brew. But everybody's getting together, so it's the time of the gathering. And then he goes back to this flashback here, where MacLeod says, "Oh, do you remember that time in 1822?" And he's like, "Yeah, how can I forget? You got me leathered." And MacLeod's absolutely pickled here, and he has a bit of a sword fight with this guy. A guy who was in EastEnders for a while. He was a bit of a smarmy charmer type.
Yeah, Tricky Dicky.
Yeah, that's him. I can't remember his name. I did look it up, and I just can't remember. I'm tired. So anyway, he has this sword fight, and he's getting nowhere. Just keeps stabbing him and stuff, and he ends up shooting his concierge, doesn't he, in the back with a gun.
Why does he do that? I having rewatched it, I'm not clear. Okay, you weren't able to kill MacLeod. He brings out the dueling pistols, and he's like, and he shoots him in the back. I don't understand why he did that.
Because he was frustrated and pissed off. He wanted to kill somebody.
I think
because he couldn't kill MacLeod, he killed his concierge instead.
To remind you that you're watching a silly film and not to take it too seriously, I think.
True.
They throw in little reminders, like the bit when the Kurgan takes the car with the old woman in it and starts driving up and down. It's to remind you not to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So Kurgan's not a happy chappy, and this bloke gives him a bit of grief because he's a sleazy hotel owner. Sword in the Storm's made a comment I'm not going to repeat. So, oh God, what was that black guy's name again? I forgot.
Castigier.
So Castigier comes across the Kurgan, but then you get this vigilante arsehole who comes in and interrupts the fight, the swordsmanship, and Castigier loses his head, unfortunately, even though he's got a scimitar. And then this action hero takes a shot at the Kurgan, and he impales him and chucks him. There's another continuity error. The Trans Am is driving changes model twice. It's like a 1978 1 minute, then it's a 1979, and you get these people that go into the absolute minutiae of picking fault with films. They need to do more. Find a hobby.
There was another scene, another think back between MacLeod and Castigier in the novelization. They're in Africa during the Zulu Wars, and they're captured by the Zulus. And Castigier tells him that the chief's son is an immortal and he wants to fight him. They two are sitting in cages, but he says, "I'm not going to give you anything sharp enough to cut his head off." So they give him a spear that's blunt along the sides, and they fight. And MacLeod's trying to kill him, and eventually he gives up and sticks it to his chest and kills him, and he dies. And it turned out that Castigier was joking the whole time. He just wanted to have a laugh at his expense.
Nice.
And that would have been a good scene, but they probably couldn't afford Africa.
True. So a bit weird. Despite all this malarkey going off, the quickening eventually comes to the Kurgan, and windows start blowing out and whatnot. And there's a great scene after he runs to the end, slices the top of this car off, pulls the bloke out, and chuffs off with this old lady, and she's screaming, "Daddy, Daddy!" But just as he gets in, he says to the old lady, he goes, "Mom, Mom." She screams.
Okay, chat, come on. Tell us how good looking this one is, chat. Come on.
Oh, gold. I don't know. She makes Nora Batty look hot.
Would you like to know something interesting about this?
Go on, then.
This alleyway is in the London Docklands, just down from Tower Bridge.
Really?
Yep. You can. Yeah, it's the dockside warehouses near Tower Bridge.
I know they filmed some of it in London.
Yeah. Shad Thames specifically.
And you'd think it were Manhattan or something.
Yeah, you can see it. It appears in Bridget Jones's Diary and in Cruella as well.
I don't know. I didn't watch that. I'm not gay.
I know. I haven't seen them either.
You're getting a lot of ones in there, Melv. So anyway, our action hero tells the police what he saw, and that this guy is 7 foot tall. And New York Post there, Headhunter 3, Cop 0. So the press are rubbing it in, which is good. And then Brenda catches up with this guy here, and they analyze all these signatures, Russell Nash's and somebody else, just a whole slew of these signatures and whatnot. And this guy, he comes out with a gun and he says, what you've got here is a guy who's been running around for the last 400 years. So what we've got there, Adrian Montague, Jacques, whatever, Alfred Itchison, and I don't know, what's that say? Something Wallingford.
They've taken the R's off it. Alfred Richardson, Rupert Wallingford.
There we go.
Nicholson.
Richard. Yeah, Nicholson, yeah.
Oh. Both work.
So he does all this, and he says, "Yeah, you've got this guy who's been running around for a shitload of time." So an image of the Kurgan, as taken by
I have a question. I have to question that last scene. What is wrong with that guy? That he actually, he had a, what? This might be the same guy going back 400 years. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can recreate his signature. It's like that, man. Seriously, you got too much time on your hands.
Well,
Bit of a
what's
Rain Man
interesting-
thing happening.
He doesn't get out much, does he? But his name's Neville. He's a good lad.
When
You
I
know?
picked up your back two slides, this is 1986 when the film came out. The lieutenant, the cop, that's Alan North. He's essentially the same character that he is in Police Squad.
Police Squad.
Yeah.
He dresses almost identically.
Well, there's nothing like being typecast, is there?
No, nothing at all.
No.
It's 11.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great film. So Heather said on her deathbed, "Remember me, Connor, light a candle on my birthday." So it's obviously Heather's birthday. So he goes into a church and lights a candle for her. And he has a bit of a reminisce. And then who turns up? The Kurgan. But there's a rule that the Immortals can't break. No fighting on holy ground. They do have a set of rules. Some that were dead simple for this movie and the ones that followed. But what's his name? William Panzer extended the rules and made some more up for the TV show. So it's kind of ad-libbed a little bit. So he's basically telling MacLeod, a few home truths about Ramirez and that he had his way with poor Heather. Oh, bless. So anyway, we get to this scene where MacLeod invites Brenda into his inner sanctum, and he's holding a little bit of a dagger there. And he tells Brenda that he's Connor MacLeod, born all these years ago, at the side of Camp Kill Yourself.
Camp
dear.
Crystal Lake.
Yeah. And he basically makes her stab him because he says he's immortal. So she does. And, we're getting a bit... anybody want to say anything? A certain phrase? Anybody in the chat? Let me just go forward one. Oh, no. All the rum scenes are taken out. Thank you, Brian. You're an absolute star, sir. Franco says, please share, hit like, and select live chat, which is a great idea. To which I am going to put this on the bottom for a little while. There we go. Because a lot of people are watching, according to the stats. 60% of people that view the streams just view the streams. They don't like, they don't sub. But we're trying to grow the channel, and it'd be nice if you could get the word out about us. Give us a sub too. It's greatly appreciated. I really do. Actually, I'm very thankful that people invest the time watching this crap.
Yeah. No, I mean, but you say 60% they're just watching, they don't click the like button. So there's an untapped group there, obviously.
What's this? MC says pegging, stabbing. Oh dear, this thing about pegging. Stop it. There's nothing good about sticking clothes pegs up your nose. Less of that. It's a family show. Nobody said, oh yeah, Brian said it. Yeah, but Brian, you know the score. Yeah, everybody missed the matron moment, but Brian didn't. Well done, Brian. Thank you.
You could get
Good
lucky
night, Franco.
here.
Oh, Franco's off.
Off to bed.
Have I got the right one? Oh, that's nice. Right, good night, Franco. You take care, matey. And he rightly says, take care, everyone, and much love to you all. Have a good sleep, mate. You get your head down, and you can always catch us on the re-rub, as they like to say. So anyway, MacLeod's all loved up, but I think there's somebody hanging around in the shadows. I wonder who that could be. Somebody sporting a new hairdo.
Yeah, very inconspicuous, eh?
And then he
No
comes
quickening
for...
here either.
Yeah, it's funny that he didn't pick up. He didn't get the quickening, did he? Which is contrary.
He does after she walks away, but then he ducks behind the.
Oh
the
yeah, he
wall
has
there.
a bit of an inkling, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
But,
So
but
he comes.
you were talking about like inconsistencies, and you try to ignore it, but it's obvious here. If he can pick out one person at Madison Square Garden, but he can't pick out some dude 30 feet behind him when he's walking with her, it's one of those contrivances. Oh, it's inconvenient for me to detect them right now. Wait until she walks away. Oh, wait, there's somebody there.
I think you'll find that's called convenient plot device.
Yes,
Maybe
it's very convenient.
Maybe the quickening doesn't work properly when you've got a stiffy.
Well, yeah. I think his antenna were already occupied.
Yeah.
So he comes after the Kurgan comes after poor old Brenda. And there's a great scene in the trailer where he's smashing through her doors, not the back ones. So he takes Brenda on a bit of a ride, and another continuity problem here, because he goes on to the pavement and he's running people over, but there isn't a single dent on the car or a splash of blood anywhere. As everybody...
The car's better back then.
Yeah. But yeah, causes chaos and mayhem on the streets of Manhattan. In fact, there's a bit where you see one of the camera trucks get hit by that car, according to the goofs on IMDb. And then the Kurgan leaves MacLeod a nice little answer phone message. Goes, "I've got you, bitch. Listen." And she's screaming in the background. And, oh dear. Sword in the Storm says he was distracted. Yeah. Are you here all week? And this is a great comment from Brian. Kurgan playing GTA. Nice. I like it. I'm going to pinch that one. So he leaves him a message, and it's on like Donkey Kong. And he says to Rachel, I've made a contingency. If I don't come back, you're going to be taken care of. You can run this place. There's cash waiting. Because MacLeod is a multi-millionaire times over. As it's mentioned in Highlander 2, because he helps pay all that money to build that shield generator, what saves humanity, because he's so rich and loaded. So he says to meet him at the Silver Cup, and you get this really good rooftop fight scene of brewing. So he looks up and Brenda's tied up. And he goes up to save her. And who's there waiting for him? It's the Kurgan. Of course, it's the Kurgan. And they're the last two. So this is the fight. What are you chuckling at, Mel?
It would have been funnier if it was Jeremy Beadle or something.
Yeah.
Or Noel Edmonds.
Oh, it'd been better with Beadle. You got to hand it to him. He was a genius. And I've said it before, and I've said it times many, and people are probably sick of hearing me saying this, but did you know Jeremy Beadle had a massive cock? On the other hand, it was quite small. You'll have to excuse this gamer. This is a guy who was a TV show host. He was a bit like our version of Alan Funt.
Oh, okay.
But he had a tiny hand, like that butler from Scary Movie 2. He was a bit like that guy.
Yep.
So anyway,
it wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't funny.
No.
Comparable to Alan Funt? Because I don't know.
Can you hear me? Because I
don't funny himself.
I don't see me anymore. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. I don't know. I must be in predator mode. I'm all camouflaged.
Over here, anytime. So it's on anyway. This is the fight for the prize. Kurgan wants it. MacLeod knows he's got to stop the Kurgan. So they basically create a load of havoc, and all destruction takes place. It's going a bit pear-shaped. Oh, you're back. That's nice of you to rejoin us there. And then they knock over a water tower thing, and there's electric and all sorts flying around. Brenda's climbing around there, getting out of the way, and the Kurgan and MacLeod, they're going to fall through that skylight. You can see it there, can't you? It's an obvious thing what's going to happen next. And they do. They fall through the skylight, and the fight continues. And the Kurgan's battling. MacLeod is not obviously playing fair. But MacLeod's quite good in this. But Brenda comes in and interrupts the fight. And that's another one of the rules. There's the fights can't be interrupted by anybody, which is quite funny. Are you all right there, Malv? Are you on the vinegar stroke, dog?
My drink wanted to leave again, back through my nose.
Oh, sounded like you were imminently going to explode.
No, Red Bull in the nostrils. It's not good.
I want to say don't do any knuckle shuffles on stream, please, for God's sake. It's bad enough as it is.
Save the protein shakes for the kitchen.
Oh, God. So anyway, this fight scene gets a bit drawn out, doesn't it? I think it could have been paced a lot better.
Yeah, it was a good scene. It was good action. You know, see the
Yeah,
bit
I agree.
with the sign at the start when they cut the sign down and the explosions and what have you. But I thought the choreography for the actual sword fight was not good for the whole film, even though they had a master swordsman supposedly choreographing the fights.
Yeah.
It was,
MC says the fight scene is epic. I mean, it is in a way, but it could have been done a bit better. But
it's
MacLeod,
spectacular, but not.
it's not. It's not. It's a bit lackluster, really. It's nothing fantastic.
Well, it's giving you the good finish. You had the explosions on the roof with the sign collapsing and everything, and then falling through the roof. So I guess it could have been made a little shorter, but you know, they're giving the audience what they want is the closing fight.
It's a music video. It's a music video.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was going to say, go on, you go. Your channel.
That'd be good. It's my fucking channel, dude. Oh, I don't mean it. I'm not a dick like that, but I just wanted to get this out. So MacLeod gives the Kurgan another slice just above the original cut what Ramirez gave him, so he finished the job off. But he sort of like smiles, doesn't he, in a really odd way. And then the quickening escapes because MacLeod and the Kurgan, they've got 50% of everybody's quickening. So that's all the skill, experience, and sometimes the knowledge of the people that they take the quickening from. It's like an accumulation of power, isn't it? So now it's divided by 2. So that's why I suppose the fight was bigger than it should have been, because they've got all that knowledge and energy and power. But MacLeod beheads him anyway, and he takes the prize. And he gets lifted up, and you can see the wires and all these windows blow out. Can you see those lightning bolts there to conveniently cover up the wires? And when he gets lifted up, you can quite clearly see those wires.
Yeah.
So anyway, he takes the prize, and he's now a mortal man. And he can have kids and marry Brenda and grow old together with her. Yeah. But he doesn't actually have kids with her. He's probably still firing blanks. Isn't that ironic? You're immortal, but you can't have children.
It's probably convenient, because like a couple of 100 years down the line, you're probably going to bang some of your relatives and not know it.
Well, yeah, I suppose it could happen. I think the chat's a bit delayed. I'm not quite sure what's going off. Because MC Sport might need some Germline for that.
Yep.
Good comment here from Geek Hero Bubba. I always thought it was based on how many they killed and who they pray had killed. It's possible that one has a larger cut of that power. No, it's 50-50. If you start off with a whole bunch of people and you whittle it down to 2 people, surely it's got to be 50. Go on.
In the series, it was based on who had killed the most. The person who had killed the most, you inherit the strength of whoever you kill.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was later. I don't know what the law is for the film, but in the TV series, that's the law. You inherit the strength of whoever you kill. So if you kill more people, you get stronger faster.
Yeah, I suppose you can fix the errors in your story in a TV series because you've got that flexibility, haven't you? With it being episodic, you can change things. Like how Richie wasn't... I mean, MacLeod... Duncan MacLeod.
Duncan MacLeod, yeah.
Didn't know that Richie was a pre-immortal until... was her name Vanessa? What was her name? The Dutch girl.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Is it Melissa or Manissa or something like that? It wasn't quite that, was it? Oh, crikey. So anyway, he wins the prize. Final scene. And I like this because a Harrier flies over the Highlands. So he's taken Brenda back to where it all started. He has a bit of a snoggle and he tells her that, you know, the prize is basically, it gives him access to everything. How people... it's like empathy and understanding, and basically it's what Ramirez told him, but it's enhanced. It's like the nth degree it's stronger. It's the ultimate version of the quickening because he's got all of that in him now, and he can help humanity to thrive and survive and go on. It wasn't. Go on.
Here's a question: is he still immortal though? Because he's got all
No.
that knowledge, and then he's going to die in 30 years. So
No, he's
it
mortal.
wouldn't be that good unless he was still immortal and was not going to get old, because then it's all going to go to waste, and just a few decades later, it's going to be gone.
Well,
thousands of years for that.
That's the irony. The prize is being able to die.
Well, that's why I thought the Kurgan smiled, because he was glad it was over one way or the other.
That could be.
Geek Hero Bubba says they set up Richie being immortal in episode 1. I can't actually remember. He says Connor implies it before he leaves him with Duncan. That's interesting. I might try it. Does anybody know if it's on Amazon or something?
The movies are on Amazon. I didn't see if the TV show was when I was watching it on Saturday. It might be.
I thought Adrian Paul was a bit too brooding. I think he hammed it up a little bit, didn't he?
He looked in good shape. He looked in better shape than Christopher Lambert.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And I'm not going to say a better actor, but I'm going to say not worse, because I don't really rate Christopher Lambert much as an actor.
Well, it was an enjoyable TV show. I mean, as the shows go, I thought Adrian Paul did a really good job.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. But yeah, Christopher Lambert, I don't think he's got that leading man quality, bless him. I think.
Yeah, fine for the movies. I'm just trying to think of other roles that he had. You may be right.
Greystoke. Greystoke.
Yeah. Greystoke was his breakthrough, wasn't it? That got him a lot of good reviews, but he didn't have to act there because he was just playing like a kind of lumbering monkey.
Yeah, just grunt and stuff.
Yeah, but he's not really got a lot of charisma as an actor.
No, he hasn't he? And he's not got the striking features.
You were mentioning earlier that they changed the rules a bit in the TV series. I know that like when they were a cemetery, they couldn't fight there. Where else did they change that you couldn't fight?
Well, it's any holy ground.
Right. But you said they kind of modified it for the TV series.
No, and they modified it. They added rules and stuff like that. And
okay.
I can't remember, and I'm trying desperately to find it. But
they also had people cheating, didn't they? They had people getting help in several of the episodes.
They did. Yep. That you were mentioning earlier, the quicker path. You had a bunch of the folks with the quickening that they were cheating. They were using real humans, or I shouldn't say real humans, but mortals to accelerate their path so they could get stronger faster. There were a few characters that were like that throughout the series.
Yeah. Gavin Blackburn. Oh, controversial comment. I like controversy. Gavin Blackburn says no charisma because he's French. Oh, that's oh dear.
I don't know if you saw the comment in the comment there, Trev. The woman's name was Tessa.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've just seen it. Yeah, because she was played by some Dutch girl. Is it Van der Noot or Van der Groot or something?
I think that's right, Van der Noot, something like that.
Yeah, Geek Hero Bubba says Lambert was hot-headed and nervous. Adrian Paul was stoic, like a John Wayne character.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Interesting. So, final thoughts, Gamer. What are your final thoughts and takeaways from Highlander?
Well, having rewatched the film, my memory of the film changed, or I should say my impression of the film in 1986 versus watching it again Saturday. And I think I pointed this out before we came on. In watching it, the audio seemed uneven, and I don't know if it's the audio dubbing, like the voices, but there's parts of it where they're clearly outdoors, but the sound quality of the dub is indoors. You can tell they're not outside, and it's noticeable.
That's ADR.
Yeah, and I thought at first, well, geez, there was something wrong with my internet. But then, like we were chatting, no, that's how it was.
Yeah, it's
but
definitely sketchy in the audio department in places.
Yeah, but that notwithstanding, I love the battle scenes, especially the ending scene. A lot of the fight scenes where the quickening occurs with the explosions. My son actually walked in when the explosion happened in the parking garage of Madison Square Garden, and because he had never seen the film, and he's like, "Oh, I wonder, the golden Camaro." Where he's like, "I wonder which car he's looking for." I'm like, "No, he's not looking for that car, but stand here and watch." And then like all the cars explode in the garage, and we were kind of joking, I don't think insurance is going to cover this. And he started laughing. He's like, "No, I don't know how you file a claim for this," but it's a generational film where, like, using my son as the example, where anybody could come in and be entertained by it. It's not aged. It's not a dated film, other than what I just pointed out with the audio quality and everything. So when you mentioned that this is what we were going to be doing on Monday, I'm like, yeah, no, I'll watch it again. And I sat there and watched the whole film nonstop. So, it's a film where if it's on regular television, I'll stop and watch it. And as I pointed out with the television series Nat, some of the subsequent films are lacking, to be kind.
2 is absolute shite.
Yeah. But on a whole, this is a better than average film. It's a film that I saw in the theater. So I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10.
That's good. That's more than generous, to be fair. You're a very generous man, gamer.
Oh, thank you.
Help desk. What was your... you haven't seen it, have you?
No, so I think it's one of those ones. I am intrigued actually to see it now. I'm just wondering if it was me, I'd just become a priest, and then if I was losing a fight, I'd just bless the ground, and then nobody able to fight me. Would that be cheating?
Pretty much.
Probably. Probably.
Anyway, I was actually just reading up that Sean Connery was doing some ADR, and where he filmed had a big echo, and they just couldn't edit it out. So there is a scene where he's talking where there's just this massive echo for no reason. That might be what you can hear. The sparks coming off their swords was because the swords were connected to car batteries. I think Toxic said that in the chat earlier. So so they smack them against things and you get sparks, and that's why. And it looks really cool.
Free electroplating.
There's an interesting question with the priest, and it's actually it's addressed in the television series. There is a guy that has like blessed shoes. He's got crosses and everything on his shoes, and so Duncan can't engage the guy.
Oh,
yeah,
that was the
what? Hello?
Ooh.
Melvin, did we lose you?
Hello, computer. Computer. Oh dear.
Hello, Clem Fandango.
Oh no.
Hello, Stephen. Can you hear me? Hello.
Because he actually has the name of the character. He's right.
Yeah. But if they addressed it,
well, there we go.
Oh dear.
If they addressed it in the TV series, then obviously I'm not the only person to have thought of it.
Right.
So that's quite interesting.
I think you'd enjoy both the television series and the movies. And Trev's right, notwithstanding the second film. Like I say, if you got Prime, it's free right now, both the first and second film. And like I say, if you want giggles of watching a dreadful Highlander sequel, it's there for you.
Oh, I hate to use the word dog shit, but Highlander 2, The Quickening, is dog shit.
I'm pretty sure it was Highlander 2 that I saw, and that's the reason why I never watched Highlander 1.
So 3 actually retcons 2.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either.
Hello, Mel.
No, that's not Highlander Endgame, right? Highlander or the final one, that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think.
There's a Sorcerer's 3 and Endgame's 4.
Okay.
And isn't it a Duncan MacLeod movie, the 4th one, if I remember right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it had both. It had both, and Duncan MacLeod kills Connor MacLeod in that one.
Oh.
And then there was another one. There's another one called The Source.
The Source, yep.
And that was supposed to be the beginning of a trilogy, but it was so bad they didn't make any more.
So bad it's not good.
One of the movies, there was a trailer where is it Connor that cuts a guy in half, like he splits him down the middle, but that scene never actually ended up in the film. I don't know if that's the last film or not.
There's a comment from MC. Do we mention the upcoming remake
with Henry Cavill as Connor MacLeod?
Yeah.
Or will he be Connor MacLeod? Will it be a different character?
I mean, they're supposed
I'm not
to
excited about it.
No,
I really don't like remakes.
It's like Henry Cavill's like the flavor of the month, isn't he now? So they could stick anybody in there, really.
I mean, he'd probably do well. I mean, I liked him in The Witcher, and then they kind of hosed him on that, but I don't know.
Provided it sticks to everything that's here, and it it could be a good movie.
It could
and
be, right.
I think Cavill is possibly he could do it well.
I mean, if you're going to pick somebody that wants to be consistent, yeah, that's the actor I'd want, because he wants to remain faithful to the source material.
Sick of remakes, sick of reboots, sick of prequels, sick of sequels, sick of reimaginings.
Yeah, well, I'm with you, Melvin.
Nothing
sick of live action.
Anymore.
They should just leave it alone. It doesn't need
absolute lack of creativity in Hollywood.
It was fine as one movie. It should have been left at one movie.
Yeah. Do you know something? That, and I would go as far to say that Alien should have just been one movie. Yet again, it's Hollywood greed.
Yeah.
They should have just left it at that. Because you've got that thing about, did Ripley ever make it back to Earth? You've got that air of mystery, the what if factor. And I think they should have not done a sequel. I think it was purely just a cash grab.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was a book I actually read before I saw the movie. It was one of the rare instances where that's occurred.
The first one or two?
The first one.
Right.
And the novel's outstanding. And I'm with you. They probably should have left it at one, but it's like, okay, if you're going to make the second movie, fine. The third movie was garbage.
Oh, it was better than 2. I mean, 2's all right. But
what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Alien.
Yeah. Aliens
is trash.
Aliens was a good movie, but it does have a lot of mistakes. It does have a lot of problems that people seem to overlook. People always, well, they don't always say, but a lot of people say Aliens is better than Alien, but there's an awful lot of problems with Aliens if you open your eyes.
if you look at the films, from a wider perspective, they complement each other. The first one, you've got that terror, that slow burn. Is it there? Is it not there? And then with Aliens, you've got the roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
So much so that when Motion Masters were a thing, I used to visit my local Motion Master just to go on the Aliens. Is it the Speed of Fright? Did anybody ever go on that ride?
I did not.
No.
Oh, it's Jeffrey Combs is in it. He's a Colonial Marine, but he's only 5 foot nothing.
I don't even know who that is.
Like
that must be rubbish.
Jeffrey Combs, he was the reanimator guy.
All right, the Doctor.
Who was like in every version of Star Trek that Rick Berman made.
Weyoun. He's a bunch of characters. Weyoun's like Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, he was that Andorian character as well, wasn't he?
In Enterprise.
Enterprise.
Yep.
I'll have to look him up.
Just
Combs
called
is a good
out
actor. I mean, for playing multiple roles in Star Trek, I like him.
Do you know, I like a good B movie, and Reanimator's up there with one of the greats of modern Bs, to be fair.
That's based on the Lovecraft book, though, so it's very different from the book.
Quite correct. It is, yes. It is very far removed, but I think in a way it's treated as an interpretation, isn't it? And the room went silent. I'm the stream killer tonight. Thank you for joining me.
I think Aliens doesn't do as much damage to Alien, I don't think. There's problems with Alien as well, but it's not as bad as, say, the damage that Terminator 2 does to Terminator.
Yeah.
Because it stops it being a sequel and turns it into a multiverse story, really.
Well, if you want to go down rabbit holes, I suppose you can do, but at the end of the day, I just want to disengage brain and, just enjoy the movie.
Just want to enjoy the movie, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of them things, though. I just find it very strange when, again, a lot of people say T2 is better than Terminator. It's like, no, it kind of ruins Terminator.
I think I think it's a case of the complementary things. One enhances the other and vice versa.
Yeah, I enjoyed both in the Terminator 1.
I enjoyed both.
Terminator 2 in the theater. Yeah.
Terminator 2, I was thoroughly entertained, but it changes the events of Terminator, so it couldn't have happened. So therefore, it becomes a multiverse story rather than a sequel.
Oh, Timey-wimey-limey says, no, we're not. T1 is a closed loop, whereas T2 is a multiple timelines. They're all incompatible. There we go.
This is assuming time travel actually exists.
Yeah. T2 has the Judgment Day doesn't happen. So because they destroyed the they killed Dyson. They didn't kill Dyson, but Dyson or Tyson, whatever his name is, dies.
Yeah.
And so therefore, Skynet and the Terminator things aren't going to be invented, right? So therefore, Judgment Day doesn't happen. So therefore, John Connor won't become the leader of the Resistance and send Kyle Reese back as father. So therefore, John Connor won't be born. And if John Connor won't be born, the events of T2 can't happen.
Grandfather paradox.
So therefore, it's a multiverse story. It's not a sequel.
Do you know, I wish I got more sleep last night. Because you've just fucked my head sideways.
And Connor MacLeod would have killed the Terminators anyway.
True.
Well, is it a multiverse or a broken linear timeline? I would say it's a broken linear timeline rather than a multiverse.
Well, no, because it creates a new timeline. So therefore,
divergent timeline.
Trev's ready for this, yeah.
Yeah.
This is like going to fucking Train Spotters Anonymous, isn't it? Oh my God. Hey, I came out with a good one. I put it to timey-wimey-limey during the week that there's a bit of a paradox with Star Trek First Contact because the Borg inadvertently create the Federation, you know, with the events of what happened in that film. And I killed it again.
I have to think about that. I don't know that I agree, but I'll have to contemplate that a little longer.
Yeah. I think a lot of films fuck up with the paradox loops.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, these what the hell was that? It's this chair. I've got a tape machine down here and my chair keeps rubbing at the side of it. And I don't want people on the re-rub thinking I'm farting, and I'm not.
It's like you're recording your own farts for posterity.
Oh, no, it's just a
pet project.
Squeaky, crappy vinyl. At least it's not gone up my shit pipe this week. That's a bonus.
That's a plus, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, I was expecting you to make a clip out of that help desk. That would have been funny.
I'm being polite about it because that's the kind of thing that if you clip it, people will just watch it lots and laugh.
Well, it's good. You know, people like to see people get hurt and injured during live streams.
I hate people laughing. Imagine having fun.
Yeah, my bollock was proper bruised. My nut was a funny colour for a while. It's quite fun,
funny though.
Really.
You don't want funny colors with that. No.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
I think we've set timey-wimey-limey off. You can change the laws of physics, but you can't change them twice in one franchise. Well, there is that.
I think the fact that laws of physics means you can't change them anyway.
He says Star Trek contradicts its own made-up rules every other episode and movie.
No, I would disagree with that. Again, let me contemplate that. That'd be a separate stream.
Yeah.
It's like with the MCU, with linear time and then suddenly multiverse, you know, quantum physics. It's like, no, timey-wimey's not wrong. There's a set rule of physics. You're either going to stick with one theory or the other. You can't just decide, well, crap, Hollywood's dead. All right, I forgot this quantum time. What? And then you got the multiverse, you know, like what Melvin was talking about. No.
Oh, there we go.
I have an opinion on it. Sorry.
Timey-wimey says T1 is a closed loop, and that's a demonstrable fact.
Yeah, time travel is not real, so it's not.
Oh, thank you. Angry Badger 3 says subbed. Thank you. I really, really do appreciate that.
Melvin, you like that. That's where I get into what I refer to as fake science fiction. I'll actually get into arguments with folks over it where just what you said, Star Trek's not real or time travel's not real. And it's like, well, no, wait a minute. And it melts people's brains.
Apparently, and I can't remember who said this.
Well, I mean, it's not a demonstrable fact that it's a closed loop because you don't know how time travel works, even if it did work. Right?
Welcome to the Melvin Deeply channel.
Please subscribe.
You owe me a bag of lawn sausage now. You are fined 1 bag of lawn sausage and a trip to the ice cream van.
John Spartan.
I like it. Yeah, you got me there, matey. Do you know this is really good. We've turned it around and we've gone on sort of like a soft tangent about this. And I like that. That's good.
Well, hopefully everyone's entertained by it too.
Yeah. The best thing about T1, right, the Terminator, is the fact... Oh, just before I mention this fact, I must point out, my ex-sister-in-law was really mad on the Terminator. And when I went to visit my brother, because he was in the RAF, he was stationed in Germany. So me and my mum went over to visit him. This is when I was still at school. And I was introduced to the Terminator in 1986. She was absolutely obsessed with the Terminator. So I have a nephew. My first nephew, his name's Kyle. The second one she had is Reese.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've got a nephew called Kyle. The other one's Reese. And I was just about to go off on this other tangent. The best thing I like about Terminator is the gun shop scene with Dick Miller. You sure know your guns, pal. Anything else? Phase plasma rifle into 40-watt range. Just wait to see here, pal. That is just, he just nonchalantly responds to him. But I saw a short video on YouTube earlier today where this guy says it's a logic flaw. And the reason he said it was a logic flaw is because the Terminator has, explicit knowledge of our time and the guns available at the time. So was the phase plasma rifle in development? And it was a secret, but it was known to Skynet.
So
it could be.
You've not got one of them behind the counter, have you? Nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
For special customers.
Cool.
The Dick Miller scene in Terminator was very similar to the one in The Howling as well, wasn't it?
Not Brian says Dick Miller was in The
the
Terror
bookshop.
with a young Jack Nicholson. That's a good fact. I like that. Yeah, Dick Miller, he was, thankfully he was in a lot of Joe Dante movies. And he popped up here, there, and everywhere. He was a great character actor. And I mentioned this when we did the Inner Space stream. He was actually a PhD. He had a PhD in psychology. And I killed it again. That's 3 for 3. I'll be on a baseball
not really
I was drinking some water. Sorry.
Trev, you say something, there's no way we can answer it.
Go on, Helpdesk. You were saying I didn't quite it.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying that sometimes you say something, there's not an answer we can give. So we sit there going, oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You're all sat there going, I wish you'd shut the fuck up. MC says, could have been a military secret or someone already had one gone back in time with it. Well, you can't because only flesh can travel through time, nothing metal, which makes me laugh about the Terminator. Surely if nothing metal can go back, even if it's a cyborg and it's covered with artificially grown skin and blood and muscles, wouldn't the flesh just go back and the robot would be left behind?
Yeah.
If you want to be nitpicky about it.
And if you could do that, they could have just took a meat bag, and filled it with guns. Sent those back as well.
Yeah. The meat Faraday
again,
cage.
you don't need to engage your fucking brain, do you, to enjoy a movie?
No.
Just leave your brain and don't question things. I think that's the thing now. Pop culture as a whole, and because we're nerds, we've sort of got to the point where we can pick fault with things. And we really shouldn't, because that spoils our own enjoyment of watching these kind of films, questioning everything.
I think to a point, but in the past, we probably were picking out the same things. I would pick out things in Star Trek that I would realize from a prior episode, like, wait, this doesn't make sense. And so my girlfriend at the time would say, nerd alert, that sort of thing. Now, I think it's more pronounced because film writing is so poor and the films are such lacking of quality that you or I or Melvin or Helpdesk will see a film and we'll point something out, and then you'll have the inevitable on the internet. Well, you're a misogynist. You're this. You're that. It's like, no. I'm objectively looking at your product, and I think your product is garbage. And as a consumer, I have a right to say it's garbage. I also have a right to not spend my money. So I think we're the same people we were 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's just that because Hollywood has driven off the rails, our opinions have become more pronounced.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at you, gamer. I'm laughing at Brian. He's put a dead
classic.
skin suit arrives like Katie Price at a party. That shit up. Love it. That is a great comment. I did actually think of something I was going to say. Yeah, I was saying to somebody, when we were growing up, I mean, like early 80s, you'd get like 6 big films a year. and you were guaranteed you'd like at least 2 or maybe 3 at a push, because they were aimed at us at that time. But you look at films now, there's like 15 to 40 a week coming out, and they're banging these films out, and everything's so derivative of something else. You watch a film and you go, I've seen that before. You know, I'm at the age now where I can pick things out and say, that's already been done. I've seen that before. They're rehashing that.
That's everything, though, isn't it? That's
there's no creativity left.
Everything's
been done this point with the remakes. You know, like
Hollywood keeps chucking shit at the wall, and they're hoping something's going to stick. And like you were saying, you know, with a lot of the Star Wars stuff and whatnot, people make these programs that you didn't fucking want or ask for in any shape, way, or form.
Right.
And then when they flop and drop on their arse full on, they turn around and say, well, that's on you, audience. Because you're this, you're that, you're the other. We'll keep chucking buzzwords at you till you watch it. That's not the way. You get more flies with honey than you do with fucking vinegar. And Disney Star Wars has been chucking vinegar out more than Sarsons do.
Well, like Star Trek Discovery, we've talked about that before. Where it's kind of the same MO that you'll point out things that are wrong with it based on the other series. Well, you're just not giving the show a chance. Well, no, I am giving it a chance. I watched it for a year. I objectively said it's trash, and I stopped watching it. Well, it's like the MCU, and like you say with Star Wars, it's everything.
You know, with Discovery, I gave it every chance. I didn't quit until season 3, and I didn't mind season 1. But
I didn't mind season 1 either. Like I say, I watched season 1. You know, in season 2, I just like enough.
I'm still convinced that with Discovery, it wasn't a Star Trek show. They had a show, and they went, no one's going to watch this. Let's stick a license on it so that it's a recognizable name.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why it's Star Trek Discovery. Other than that, it would just be people in space.
MC says too much quality, too much quantity, and not enough quality, which is true. Geek Hero Bubba says, and they neglect the fact that just because something is or not woke does not mean they won't pick it apart for normal poor writing and lack of quality. This is true. Sword in the Storm says you get more flies with shit. No shit is what I would say. Hello, File 13. Thank you for joining us. 13. And MC says everything is diluted. It is to an extent, but 90% of it is everything's shit now. And it is. Like that saying goes, if it's shit, it's shit. And I think a lot of what comes out these days is just pure shit. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah. I mean, a movie that I'm looking forward to in June is the Ballerina film, and I guess we'll find out if I'm wrong.
It's not a TV series. Isn't it a TV series?
No, it's the John Wick sequel.
The John Wick Ballerina.
Yeah. I thought it was a TV series. I didn't know it was a film.
No, it's a film, yeah.
So my son and I are going to give it a shot, but you know, I may be corrected and come back out here and say that it's absolute garbage, but we'll see.
Well, right, just I mean, you really love that sort of franchise.
Yeah.
So what's your take on Nobody then? Isn't that supposed to be a bit of a loose connection between Nobody and John Wick?
I haven't seen that.
Or is it just because it's a writer associated with John Wick that did Nobody?
Well, it's supposed to be in the same
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's
theoretically,
like
everything should be set in the same universe, right? That's the nature of universes, I suppose, as long as you're not doing a multiverse story.
And as timey-wimey-limey knows, and I know too, that Alien is set in the same universe as Blade Runner. Because there's a clip somewhere, and it's online, where Guy Pearce did all the Peter Whalen stuff. And he was commenting about Tyrell getting killed by one of his own products. And he refers to him as a poor bastard.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, but I'll have to look into that spinoff you mentioned, Trevor. I actually hadn't heard of it prior to you just mentioning it now. I'm familiar with the Peacock series only.
You'll like it.
I don't think we get Peacock over here, do we?
I don't think so.
Might.
I'm tight with
League, so I don't know why they wouldn't be over there.
There's so many different ones now. It's almost impossible to tell what you do and don't pay for.
Yeah.
And as Tom says, and now with Prime, essentially you're paying for 50 different TV channels full of shite with a few gems.
Yeah.
And it's true.
If you're paying for Disney Plus, you're basically paying to watch Bluey.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's it.
When somebody said to me they were going to watch a Bluey, and I'm like, what? That meant something else to me. MC says you can't polish a turd. That's true, is that?
Well, they did that on Mythbusters, but I won't go there.
Yeah, you can freeze dry it. You could probably turn it into a
Help
diamond.
Desk, for Daredevil, you can go episodes 1 and 2, and then go to 5 and 6. You can skip 3 and 4.
Do you know I've given up on so many TV shows? I watched Daredevil, and I got about 17, 18 minutes in, and I thought, fuck this shit. And with Reacher, I got to episode 3, and I just thought, no, I'm fucking done. And I enjoyed Reaper season. Reaper.
See, for Daredevil, I'm in for the dime. I'm in for $1. I'll watch it to the conclusion. Like it's gotten better. The slowness is gone. Now the question is, how do they finish? The trailer. Excuse me. Help Desk was talking about, if you're paying for Disney Plus, you're paying for Bluey. I'm in for 2 things: the Daredevil and for Andor season 2, which comes out in 3 weeks. The latest trailer, after they ditched the ridiculous music and just made it feel more Andor-ish. Yeah. It looks outstanding. My son was watching with me when it came on, and it's like, ooh, this looks good. And you can tell it's a lead up to Rogue One, and I'm fine with that, having watched season 1. So I'll be interested to see how this plays out too.
I'm dreading summertime this year. I'm gonna stick a thumbnail up for a video that's upcoming, right?
Yeah,
and I'm kind of dreading what they're going to do with this.
Alien Earth. Yeah, completely destroy the Alien franchise.
Yep.
And the last film did a good job of that, though, didn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, the last 2 films.
Do you know something? This is weird. A lot of people hate AVP2 Requiem, but I actually quite enjoyed it just for the cheesiness.
I like it.
I like it.
Very silly.
Yeah. And it was a good advert for amateur radio too, because they were advertising, I think it was an ICOM HF set, if you're into that kind of thing. If you know, you know. I love HF. I love shortwave. I'm not afraid to say it. I fucking love shortwave.
I haven't done shortwave in years, but yeah,
I finally got
Kenwood 9000.
I finally got my long wire back up in the air today, and I was really overjoyed. And then cool. I went in my shack and I listened to the Shannon air weather on 5.5 megahertz just for laughs. That's really, really hardcore.
Then you're hardcore. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Yeah, I'm kind of apprehensive about Alien Earth. It's like, what are they going to do with that? It's set 2 years before Alien. It's set in 2120.
Yeah, God.
I don't like it when they do that.
So then you're going to go, oh, these references, and you're probably going to see like young Dallas or something. It's going to be a load of shit.
Yeah.
Well, he'll only be 2 years younger than what he was in Alien, and he would have already been on the trip to Thedas by that time.
Oh, you're going to see Dallas's brother, Jeff Dallas.
Keith.
Corbin Dallas.
Keith Della. You'll see the Spirit of Dark player Keith Della in the future.
Yeah. Nigel Dallas.
Kenny Dallas. Hey, how's it going there? I'm Kenny Dallas. My brother's a starship captain, which ain't easy, because when he went to LV-426, it was murder.
I'm worried about it.
I understand that reference.
I don't know how that's going to play for you.
Anyway, you just made me think of Lionel Stander, who was Max in Heart to Heart. He was also the voice in Cup in Transformers the movie from 1986, which, strangely enough, is our film for next week.
Roll out, Autobots.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Oh, let's be honest.
Why throw away your life so recklessly?
It's not a film. It's a cartoon.
Fuck off. I fucking love it. I cried at that. When Optimus Prime died, that made me cry. I've only ever cried at 2 films. The first one being Transformers the movie, and the second was Star Trek 3. When the Enterprise blew up, that fucking wrecked me.
Oh, yeah.
I love that ship. I love the refit. In fact, I love the refit more than the original Constitution class Enterprise.
I would take Picard's Enterprise because it's got a holodeck.
Oh, I'd have to go for the Enterprise E, to be fair.
Yeah.
I like the Sovereign class better than the Galaxy class.
Well, it's a bit too small. I mean, it's got quantum torpedoes, but it's just a bit too small.
Well, if I was going to pick any ship, it'd have to be Excelsior. She's my favourite.
Wasn't there a future?
Why do you scoff, Graham?
Enterprise?
Well, the NX-2000, the transwarp ship that never works.
It only fucked up because Scotty took this out of our main transwarp drive computer. From one doctor to another. Oh, no, sorry. From one surgeon to another. There we go.
That's it. Yeah.
One part, and he disabled a starship.
The whole thing.
It was AA batteries. He took 4 AA batteries out of that computer, and it made it go till.
Yep.
There's some good comments coming in.
There is.
Sword in the Storm says, oh, yes, Transformers 86. Definitely.
Yep.
And it says again, Sword in the Storm, the only Transformers movie worth bothering with. Yeah.
Pre-Michael Bay.
Goes on. Prime died all the fucking time. He had more comebacks than Shawaddy Waddy, didn't he? Or if you want to put it in a Parks and Recreation kind of frame, he had more comebacks than Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. She had a lot to come on about. Yep.
Geek Hero Bubba says, Melv, cartoon films are still films.
Not another cartoons.
Oh,
there
yeah.
we go. Glad to sort that out.
So what does Who Framed Roger Rabbit count as?
It's a cartoon film.
That is a cartoon film. Sword in the Storm says, in the comics, one time Prime got blown up and his personality was saved on a floppy disk. I remember that.
Oh, wow.
That was in the Marvel comics. MC says he likes the Enterprise E, Sovereign class. But, I'm not a big fan of the Odyssey class, which was the Enterprise F. That was from Star Trek Online, wasn't it? A ship made for that. A fan-created ship. And then they used it in Picard Season 3, which is the ship that Admiral Shelby was on. She was a bitch. I just thought her last name in real life is Dennehy. I wonder if she's Brian Dennehy's daughter. Anybody want to goggle that for me?
Take a look.
No, I can't spell Dennehy. I quite like the Defiant.
Yeah, Google how to spell Dennehy.
Yeah, I mean, you see, that's designed to be a small ship, but it's also designed to be hideously overpowered for its size.
Well, it is. It's a brute. It's cannon fodder. Geek Bubba says, my favourite Roddenberry ship is from my favourite Roddenberry series, Andromeda. I like that only because of Romy. Oh, Lexa Doig.
Oh, you're back on Lexa Doig then, okay.
Oh,
Isn't she married to
Michael Shanks, the lucky bastard?
Yeah, Daniel Jackson from
Don't rub it in because he's seen things I can only imagine.
And he's rubbish. He's rubbish.
Oh, he's not. He's from Kamloops. He's all right. He's from BC.
It's like you can understand, if Henry Cavill gets the girl, right? But that guy, really, come on. Come on. Look at me. Look at him. What we're doing here.
Yeah, but he did a really good job of doing Spader because that's what he went in to do.
She is the daughter of Brian Dennehy.
She is she?
Yeah.
I thought she was.
Yep.
She's kind of got that feature about her, hasn't she?
6'5" and a big square head.
Yeah. He's got a Lego head like Leslie Headland. Oh, God. If that's Headland, it's so disappointing because she doesn't live up to the name, does she?
Well, she does have a big head.
Yeah, but you
gravitational pull.
You wouldn't want Head from Leslie Headland, would you?
Oh, there is actually that. Yeah.
She's got a landing strip for a full head.
Oh, I tell you what, Help Desk, find me a nice picture of Romy from Andromeda. She should be in like a burgundy leather suit.
Wasn't she in Jason X?
She's in
Jason X. She's in Stargate. The final couple of seasons as Dr.
Lamb.
Yeah.
Who turned out to be Hank Landry's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She used a mother's maiden name, didn't she, instead of using Landry? Because she was, oh God, what was her first name? I can't remember.
Ooh, that's a good question. I forget. I watched the show all the darn time too. I don't know.
Let's say it's Vicky. She looks a kind of sticky Vicky, doesn't she?
Sweaty Betty.
Sweaty Betty, have you seen her tits? They're magic.
There we go. That's more Scunthorpe, I think. I could do a passable Les Dawson, maybe. I don't know. We're dragging it out here a little bit. I didn't expect us to go this far, but I tell you what, we'll go till 2 hours and 10 minutes or 15, and then we'll call it. Anybody in the chat got anything else they'd like to say?
The only thing I haven't said so far is that there's only one thing I'm looking forward to coming out this year. It's in September, and it's the Spinal Tap sequel.
Oh yeah, with Harry Shearer.
Exactly, yeah. The guy what does the voices.
I'm a bit fed up of it's just all I see is Smithers and Mr. fucking Burns, basically.
True.
But
I mean,
although
it's a sequel to a classic movie.
It is.
Which
all the more reason why they should have left it alone.
Yes, I agree, Malv.
I
Although Harry Shearer makes a cameo in Wayne's World, doesn't he? He's that DJ, that handsome
DJ,
Dan.
yeah.
That's right, yeah.
All right, he's doing it like that. Radio presenters don't, some do, but the only reason, right, and this is a thing, right? The equipment at the transmitter site, the audio compression stuff, when you were coming out of songs, in olden times, you were fighting the compression to be heard over the music. So that's why they did that like that, because they were trying to compete with the compression, the audio compression. And Gamer might actually know that fact. I'm not sure.
I didn't know that fact, but I knew people in radio that would, hi there, weather on the fives, that talking with the voice like that.
Well, you might be aware of Optimods and things of that ilk. Maybe.
It's been so long. You could make up a word.
I think.
I mean, back in the day, we said the carts and still reel to reel.
Carts! I remember carts. Audio pack AA3s in that lovely blue, transparent blue color. You could see the tape going round.
Yep, and you clean it with an electromagnet.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
You could stick it in the cart machine, and it got and it'd be getting rid of what was it was basically scrubbing the tape.
Yeah.
Oh wow, 1/4-inch tape in basically an 8-track, because that's all carts were.
Basically, I mean, I remember even in the studio, like editing film too, and just giant machines. And this is like when VHS and Beta were competing with each other, but to do the video editing for sound, the carts were gigantic. I don't know what the size was, but I remember having to do that when I was in college. But yeah, reel to reel. So
yeah.
And there were still there were still turntables.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys had different technology to what we used over here.
Yeah,
but it was all good stuff, and I used to love messing around with all that stuff.
Well, I was in the shortwave before that. You were mentioning shortwave. I was in the listening to Radio Deutsche Welle, the BBC, just listening to stuff around the world, and you'd pick off people that would also be doing their ham stuff, and yeah, it was fun. Oh, there you go.
That's
Romy.
Not particularly a good image, but that's Romy, Lexa
Not
Dewey.
bad. Yeah,
there are better
ones.
pictures.
There are better pictures.
Yeah. Oh, I found a better one. There we go. Oh, it's one of them WebP, but you can change it to a JPEG, can't you? If I can still say, if you ever get one of those WebP files, just save it as a JPEG. It still works.
Well, the web files work okay. It's the AVIF files I have problems with.
Oh, AVIF, they're terrible. Nah, then that's better.
But most things, a web file just works the same as a JPEG. I don't have any problems with them.
She's half Filipino.
What half?
Do you know what? Michael Shanks also appeared in Andromeda?
Yes, he did as another AI, didn't he?
Yep.
A warship, and that's where he fell in love with her. That's where the romance started.
Yeah.
He was in Elysium too. Not many people know that, but he was in Elysium, the Matt Damon movie.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Huh. I'll have to go
He
back
was
and watch
on
it
board
again. I don't
Elysium. He
remember
was
that.
one of the guys in the control room.
Huh.
There you go. The more you know.
Yeah. No, Help Desk was talking about the films coming out this year. Yeah, outside of that, like say Ballerina, and then the rest of the year is just a tumbleweed. I can't think of a film I want to watch this year.
You just reminded me, in one of the John Wicks, you know the ladies that send out the information about the hits?
Yes.
There's a Commodore VIC-20 in one of the scenes.
Is
And I
there
love that.
really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
The ladies typing on the computers when they were, I can't remember which one it was, where they kept putting the money up to get John Wick.
Yeah, Raising the Bounty. Yeah.
Yeah, which one was that? Was that 3?
That would have been 3.
Yeah.
Well, 2 ends in with the whole Central Park. So I guess it would be 3.
Yeah, it was. It was in 3.
When everybody stops in their ceremony, he's running with the second dog that he has in the rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then that's the movie with what's her name? Halle Berry.
Ah, yeah, because thingy Adrian Panicki, she's in the first one, isn't she? The woman who plays crikey, in Orville, in the Orville. You know the blonde woman who's the second in command.
I can't think of her name.
Yeah, but she had black hair. She was the one in the leather gear when she was fighting with John Wick in his room.
There you go. Okay, I didn't know that. All right.
The Continental.
Yeah, she has black hair. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember her name now. Oh, dear. Is anybody excited in the chat for Transformers the movie next week? Because I've already done the groundwork. Brian's been really slogging his guts out on the slides and whatnot and on the backdoor things. And, I thought I'd make things a bit easier and do some of the legwork this coming week. So he didn't have to. So he could have a week off. But he really does bust a gut. And Melv, I've got to tip my hat to you as well, matey. You are a font of knowledge. And I appreciate you sharing that with me.
Do you remember what Harry Crumb said? When the guy said, "You're a font of knowledge, Mr. Crumb," and he said, "I'm fond of many things."
Oh, yeah. MC says about Adrian Panicki or whatever her name is. She was in the failed TV version of Wonder Woman. Yeah, she was in a pilot for that, wasn't she?
Oh, God. Was that the one where the outfit was worse than you see in most porn movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Really bad.
Sword in the Storm says she was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. I lost the thread with that. You know when season 1 ended and then season 2 started and there was a mid-season break? I kind of didn't go back after the break.
Was that with the whole suddenly everyone was Hydra? Or was that in one of the later seasons?
Yeah, it was the one where Coulson had basically found out he died.
Yeah.
In Avengers.
I completely lost track of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after about 2 seasons, so I've given up with it.
They were just bringing in another fit bird, a nice-looking brunette.
Well, it's funny that's on Disney Plus. I have no desire to watch it. I mean, to your point, I kind of lost track of it with network television. It's not smart with network television to have a break like that.
Do you know the only show I've really enjoyed watching on Disney Plus? And I watched it from the pilot right through to the final episode. Anybody want to guess?
And it's
Falcon
not Bluey.
And the Winter Soldier?
No, it's not Bluey.
Okay.
What did you say, gamer?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Nah, fuck that shit too.
Well,
I'll give you a clue. My
Evening
name
Vex.
is Weston. I used to be a spy. Burn Notice. Anybody watch Burn Notice?
I love Burn Notice. I didn't know that was on Disney Plus because that was a USA.
Yeah, it's on Star on Disney Plus over here.
Oh, okay. I don't think it's. I'll have to check.
Most of that, I think, but the woman in it just got too annoying.
Yeah, Gabriella Anwar.
Yeah, she used to be really good looking years ago.
Wasn't she in Press Gang? Or am I thinking of Julia Sawala?
Both of them were in it.
Yeah, she was annoying, and that Irish accent in the pilot.
Oh God,
that was terrible.
It's like hearing an Englishman say "Okay, the new." You know?
Oh God, no.
Yeah, sorry about
that. No. Do you know? I would not insult a Scotsman by doing that.
Yeah, you know something, right? I lived in England for 25 years, and
I am sorry.
all of my mates and everything. Yeah, well, you should be. Used to very, very frequently, I would say something, and it would go, pretending like they couldn't understand me. And it's like, every fucking day for 25 years. Shut the fuck up. It wasn't funny the first time. You know, where's the joke?
Did you get like old Ramsey Nesbitt quotes chucked at you and shit like that?
Constantly, and Russ Abbott just constantly, and it's
Oh,
like
God.
you know, it's like calling a Welshman a sheepshagger. Just shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. You know, it's
Well,
like,
apparently they
you're
call
not funny,
people in
you're not
this
funny.
neck of the woods sheepshaggers. There's a high prevalence of sheep in this part of the UK, allegedly. I'm not originally from this area. I'm from how can I put it? I'm a merry man, if that gives anybody a clue.
My God, up by Centre Parks.
Not far away. In fact, I grew up, let's see, about 8 miles away from where Centre Parks is. I grew up really close to the Major Oak. What are you laughing at, Melv?
I'm laughing at Vex because she's bringing up something on another stream a few days ago.
Oh.
Alcohol.
Hello,
and the thing.
Vex in the chat.
Yeah.
Vex.
And Jacob Ironside in there too. Tom says. Here we go. Just for you, Melv. Okay, the new.
Thanks for that.
I bet that never gets boring. I bet you've never had anybody ever say that to you.
Never. I'm not even sure what it means. I might have to
What
Google
is the biggest Scottish cliche English people or people in general chuck at you?
It's okay. The new.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh
yeah, and the Crankies. They're always bringing up the Crankies.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that was 50 fucking years ago, and it was shit. Nobody watched it. Stop it.
Look, what Nicola Sturgeon did back then is entirely her own business.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I love that meme what went round about Nicola Sturgeon being Jimmy Cranky.
Could be, though. I think it's possible. There is a likeness.
Oh, dear. That just seems wrong, doesn't it, in hindsight? A bloke married to his son, which is actually really his wife.
Yeah.
Have you ever met the Crankies?
That's a
for anyone. Yeah, I was going to say, for anyone in the chat who doesn't know what the Crankies is, that's just going to sound even more weird than it actually is.
Well, they're just a cliche of a Scottish. He's a Scottish single parent, isn't he?
Yeah,
because you never see the mother.
Yeah, in Scotland that would be the other way about, though.
Yeah, very popular on Crackerjack back in the day with Stu Francis or Stu Pot.
He's dead, isn't he?
Who's Stu Francis?
Yep.
He'll not be crushing a grape now, then, will he?
Well, not in the way he used to.
Oh God, this is very bizarre. Sword in the Storm says apparently the Crankies were mad swingers. Can you confirm that? Because can you imagine
did he join in?
Oh dear. Can you imagine that going to a swingers party and you're like looking at this ginger lass and like, you look like a 12-year-old boy, love. Brian says I saw the bloke from the Crankies. That'd be Ian Cranky then. In Suchi Hall Street. Did I pronounce that right, Melv?
Socky Hall Street.
There we go then.
It's one of the two big main streets in the centre of Glasgow, Socky Hall Street and Argyle Street.
MC says Crackerjack. Ooh, I could crush a grape. If you look back at them shows, they were fantastic back in the day, but if you watch them now, they look utter shit. Just look at Cheggers Plays Pop.
Yeah, Saturday morning kids television. Made on a total shoestring budget.
Crackerjack was a weekday program, love.
Same thing.
It
was the live shoestring budget, just audience, keep kids entertained for half an hour.
It was basically the Generation Game, but for kids.
Yeah. So
what is this, like Captain Kangaroo in the United States? But
I don't know. It was just like a madcap kids show, like lots of sketches and shit.
It was like a game show, Crackerjack, wasn't it? It was a kids game show where you won toys and shit at the end.
Yeah.
Oh dear, Sword in the Storm, get out my fucking head. He says here, Cheggers plays cock, small. I wonder if I can find a picture of Naked Jungle with Keith Chegwin with the first game show on Channel 5 when it launched back in Easter 1997. I'm still scarred to this day.
Oh, my God.
He made me look hung, though. How bad's that?
Oh, dear God.
Cheggers plays cock. Cheggers plays cock. I think he was the only celebrity at the time who wasn't fiddling. Him and Noel Edmonds and John Craven, I think, were totally above board. But
I don't know. There's still something weird about Noel Edmonds I don't like.
Yeah, he's a bit... he's that far up his own arse he's hanging out of his own mouth. He believes he's a nice guy.
Having facial hair is okay, right? If you can't be arse shaven or whatever. Or in my case, like a few years ago, I was walking in a freezer, so you actually needed it, right? But see somebody who grows a beard and then trims it and stands in the mirror and trims that beard, or somebody who just has a mustache. And I'm probably insulting people in the chat here, but what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? It's, oh man, this makes me look so good, trim my hair, or the big Mexican mustache and the trimming that. It's like, Jesus, why would you think that makes you look good? Stop it.
Brian says Cheggers was too drunk to fiddle with anything. I agree. Because he liked to drink. MC said he felt like a porn star compared to Cheggers' cock. And Sawdust Stone says he couldn't fiddle with his micro penis. It was titchy. Although saying that, though, I don't know it's because I'm horrendously fat now, but my cock just looks like a third ball. Next time I go to the nurse and she checks me, she'll probably start fucking juggling. Which one's the cock? Which one's the cock? Is it the one in the middle? Is it the one on the left? Do we know? Do we care? No, we fucking don't.
Put a couple over each of them and start moving them around.
Oh, dear. How did we get here? We've gone down a mega tangent.
I blame you.
That's your fault on this one.
It's your fault, Melv. You're a perv.
Okay, it was all that talk of moustaches.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I've just read to star in what was the movie we were talking about? Highlander. Kurt Russell was actually up for the role originally.
God, can you imagine that? They've been terrible with Kurt. Totally wrong role for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. But I don't know. It's Christopher Lambert now, so that's
it's Lambert. It's
Lambert.
Lambert.
To put somebody else in.
Yeah.
Camembert.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Like
anyway,
Steven Seagal is Casey Ryback. Nobody's ever going to replace that man.
Nope.
Fuck Steven Seagal in his fat, stupid ass. That guy is a total knob end.
And his slapping, every move he does is just a variation of slapping someone badly.
And do you know what hurts the most when you say Steven Seagal? He was porking Kelly LeBrock.
He was married to her. He used to slap
Yeah,
her
he was
around,
married,
apparently.
Yeah. How does a fat prick end up with a hot chick like that?
He wasn't fat then.
Money.
Well, being famous.
He's not that fucking famous.
Famous
He's just,
to hell, though.
he's
Well,
just
she was in like 2 films.
Yeah, but... Oh, yeah, Lady in Red with Gene Wilder.
Weird Science.
And Weird Science.
Mm-hmm.
Even Lady in Red, I mean, all together, she was in it, 15 minutes maybe for the whole film?
Yeah. I mean, she was hot back then. She's not so hot now, obviously, but she's got to be at least, 70-odd or pushing it.
I would think.
Not that old. Really?
No.
Maybe, I don't know. Then again.
I don't know. She might be at top end at 50s.
Somebody Google it.
How old is Kelly LeBrock's tit?
She's 65.
There you go.
Oh, there we are. Yeah,
Stu Francis is still alive. Do you know who it is that died? It wasn't Stu Francis who died. It was Emlyn Hughes.
Fucking...
I always found them two very similar in that they were really not funny, but they were always trying to be.
Emlyn Hughes, fucking hell, Jesus.
Just had a funeral for the wrong person.
Fucking hell. I was just about to send Stu Francis's mate a condolences message. I'm glad I didn't.
Vanessa
Fucking hell. Emlyn Hughes. Jesus, that's fucking made me snot, Melv. You've done me.
Just said your condolences that Emlyn Hughes is dead.
Oh, God.
He'll understand.
Right, thank you, everybody. Melv's fucking done me. I just can't. Fucking Emlyn Hughes. Oh, dear. We might see you Wednesday. I'm not quite sure. A lot of people have said I should bring Fubar back. What do you reckon? Let's call it. Do I do Wednesday or do I bring Fubar back?
I'm a Fubar Friday fan, so.
Help desk.
I like both. If I have to pick one, I'd say Fubar, just because I've done more Fubars than Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm. What do you reckon, Melv? Should I bring Fubar back?
I think Freddy's going to get you more traffic. I think Freddy's a better night.
I'd get more traffic stood out middle at fucking M1, I think.
It's early days, man. It's early days. I don't think that the
Sword in the
YouTube
Storm
stats
says
are much to
Fubar.
go by.
What do you reckon, chat? Do I think fuck it to Wednesday and just bring? Yeah.
Because how many people did we have on that last Friday? Would you have 10 in the room or 9? Yeah.
We had 9 or 2. Well, me and 8.
Yeah.
MC said he's usually out Friday. Well, lucky you jammy bastard.
You having a social life? Huh.
I think Friday. Bill Beaumont says Tom in the chat. Yeah, I think fuck it. We'll yeah. There's always the re-rub. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll fuck it. We'll skip Wednesday and just bring Friday back. Season 2 of Fubar Friday starts this coming Friday.
Nice.
God knows what we'll be talking about, because it's one of the shows where we just totally rely on tangents. So
Talk about origins of Hawkeye the New.
No.
Who was the first person ever to say it? It's not really a Scottish phrase.
Stanley Baxter, probably.
Hootsman.
Yeah, whatever happened to Stanley? Is Stanley Baxter still with us?
Oh, he died. He'd be 100 if he was alive.
Yeah, I used to like Stanley Baxter. He was quite funny in a very inoffensive way.
He
was family friendly. I think that's what we're missing in society now. You know, family friendly entertainers. I think we
You
need
were talking
more.
about your three nuts earlier.
Oh yeah. Oh dear. I'm ET. I'm extra testicle, but it's really my dick.
Extraterrestrial.
Right. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Geek Hero Bubba says, I'm new here, but I have other engagements Friday. But you'll have to do the re-rub, as they like to say.
You'll still have Mondays, though. You'll still have the Mondays.
Oh, yeah, still do Mondays. Yeah. So I think, fuck it, we'll not bother doing Wednesday. Despite what that advice come from YouTube's analytics. So I was going to try it, but apparently Stanley Baxter is still alive.
No, he's not. Stanley Baxter's not still alive.
You just say no one's dead. That's the easiest option.
It's like Tony Hart. He dies every year, doesn't he, on Facebook?
Check that again, Brian. I think Google's lying to you. I'm 100% sure Stanley Baxter's
And
dead.
on that groundbreaking note, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat. I would like to thank the oldest gamer. Thank you for joining us tonight, buddy.
Thank you, Trev. This was a lot of fun hanging out with Helpdesk and Melvin. Obviously with you too. So yeah, great, good movie to review. And we went off on multiple tangents, so it was kind of a quasi Friday.
Yeah, I tried to drag it out for 2.5 hours, but I'm flagging now. It's just I do very early starts. My day starts ridiculously early. Thank you, the Immortal Help Desk, as always, sir. I hope you get to watch this film.
Oh, I will do. I shall find a copy and I will watch it. Looking forward to the start of season 2 on Fubar Fridays.
Yes. Scotty's going to kick me up the arse now because you've come on and you haven't seen the film, and that's normally Scotty's job, so he's going to be pissed at you.
He's pissed at everyone all the time.
Well, when he's not pissed up himself, that's interesting. And also, thank you to the legend that is Melvin Deeply. Thank you for joining me, sir.
No bother, man. I don't know when I became a legend, but I'll accept it.
Hey, you are highly regarded in streaming town.
I'm amazing, but only in my own mind. So it's been great being here with yourself and Gamer. Not so much Help Desk, though, after that Hawkeye the New thing.
Jacob Ironside says,
sorry.
Great show.
The racism. I can't go over the racism.
There we go. Baxter is 98 but alive. Brian reiterates. Oh, Geek Hero Bubba reiterates. And Brian says, Melv killed Stu Francis. Now he wants Stanley Baxter dead. Oh, thank you, everybody in the chat. It's been great chatting with you. If you're watching this on the rewind, would appreciate a comment down below because I really do like interacting with everybody. It's so fun. I just absolutely love it. And bollocks to Wednesday. That's in the pan. We don't want people fucking chucking pot noodles out the pram. So we'll start season 2